Welcome into the Chemistry Podcast, episode number 294, baby. Fueled by First Form.
Yank. What's up, everybody?
Wait, why are you opening those, dude?
I bought this, dude.
Oh, you brought that on your own?
I got it from First Form, yeah.
Because you
need to calm down.
Well, you keep using what's on the set.
You need to calm down. No, we got our two here. I drank the other two, but I got this because I ordered it online because I needed some energy drinks, and so I got it. So don't
that's
bullshit
the
me.
Freedom one.
Damn right.
That's a good looking.
Got that American flag going on, baby. I'm going to start, it's going to be 4th of July coming up here. I'm going to take all these little American flags and put them like, yoink, 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 blah, 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 all the way around.
Oh, you've done that before.
Yeah.
Where do you keep all of them?
Basement.
You do? Like,
Yeah.
how many would you say you have?
Oh, God, a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to go all the way around.
And then you got to take them all down. Why don't you leave them up all year round?
No, it's too
Why do you have to be patriotic just one day?
Well, I'm
out of the
patriotic
year?
every single day of the year, but I don't need to be that patriotic. I mean, it's just a pain in the ass.
Do you
They fall
find
down.
when
and stuff.
people only put the American flag out on like 9/11 or something like that, where do you think people should put it out all the time?
You could do whatever you want as long as you represent and know that you know you
Memorial
represent
Day.
your country. Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to fly the flag everywhere. Although if you live out by me, they do.
I went out to my mom's house.
Like you
the
don't
other
have to
day.
put it in the back of your pickup truck and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, you know. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that.
No, I know.
Are you saying
because they're out by
are you
me?
saying that's Hoosier?
If it's American flag is flying out, it's not saying it's Hoosier, but I wouldn't do it.
No, you are saying that.
You know, if I was in high school, I would.
Are you backpedaling?
What?
I think you're backpedaling. You just said it's Hoosier, and now you're saying it's not Hoosier.
No, if you have it in the back of your truck flying out, like I'm not going to do that.
What about with the guy, the decal, and the character? He's pissing on
That's old
the
shit.
Chevy, but
Yeah,
he's a
that's
Ford
stupid.
guy.
I don't have any bumper stickers.
You don't have any of that?
Andy's got a coexist bumper sticker, and I'm with Hillary bumper
Oh,
sticker.
don't get political on here.
I'm not.
That's
out of the
kind of a
game.
political
She's out of the
statement.
game, but that's what
kind of a
Andy
political
and
statement.
his neighbors have those kind.
No, they don't.
Coexist. Biden 24. I'm with
No,
Hillary.
they don't.
We do. It's all good.
And, no, but they
It's all good.
They don't have those. And I don't have those either, for the record, on my car. But if I did, it'd be all good, too. I mean, everyone's free to do whatever they want, man. We accept
Who said
everybody.
who
on
said
this
anything different?
podcast.
Who said anything
Well,
different?
tell the people. No matter what you believe in, we...
No, I think they know that by now. We've been doing this
Well,
for 5
tell 'em
years.
again,
We've been doing
dude.
this for 5 years. I'm just saying Andy has a coexist sticker.
No, I
All
don't.
good.
Okay, but tell them you're not being
I'm
serious.
joking.
Yeah. Hey, but my mom was out of town. I hadn't been over to her house in quite a while, actually.
You need to go over there more often. then.
I know. She comes by the house all the time.
Does
seeing
she?
kids. Oh, yeah. And
I hope so.
she had an American flag out her.
Damn right, girl. What's up? Damn right.
So,
Well, I got a problem in my neighborhood anyway.
mhm.
Now we have a bear on the loose. It was a little cub, but he's trying to find her mama, and he was spotted on one of the holes on Tavern Creek on a golf course out there, and it's just like, oh, cool. Like I like it, you know what I mean? But it does scare the people in the subdivision because even though it's black bears and they're skittish, and they're not that aggressive like a brown bear or a grizzly or a polar bear, I get all that. But you still got bears roaming around. There's kids walking dogs. There's stuff going on. There's women getting up in the morning, jogging. Like, it's still a little freaky.
You want to know when they
Still a
are?
little freaky.
Because I know a lot about bears. I've run into bears, actually, on a hike on
We ran into a stump.
a couple of occasions. But you want to know when they do get aggressive?
When
they're
they
with
smell
their
blood.
cubs.
Well, yeah. Well, that was a cub.
So Cam shows me a picture. It looked like a stuffed animal. This thing was so tiny. It had not eaten in weeks. It was so
be the
damn
big- it'd
hungry.
be the
So that
biggest-
would be a little concern because
So
it's
you
hungry.
say it's small. That would be the biggest dog in the subdivision.
It was a dog.
That
It may have been a dog.
dude, the
actually.
whole subdivision is actually having meetings on this.
Are they?
Yeah.
I know. You know
I
what?
know.
Hey, if there's a
Like,
bear
don't
cruising
see,
around,
Like you say that you have a fucking coexist sticker and that I'm with Hillary. Don't lie and say that this isn't happening in our subdivision.
well, it wasn't very big.
Dude, it's looking
But
for
I
its mom.
will
How
say-
do you think that would time out?
Yeah.
Where does that? Do you think that bear just appeared? How do you think it was created?
He
How
was
did
on the
Ivy?
cart
How did
path.
Ivy become created?
Yeah, so
Did
you think the mom is
you had
somewhere around?
intercourse with a woman?
Yeah.
You two did.
Mhm.
So something happened, and this bear was born,
Mhm.
and now it's trying to find his mom. So it's not like just like little
Oh,
cubs.
you
just
think
hanging-
it was just born?
Well, yeah, it's pretty small.
Dude, it was tiny. I know. So
No, but it's still the
where do
biggest
you
dog
think,
in the
how would the
subdivision.
mom get separated from
Because
the
who knows?
cub?
Maybe it just, because I
Do you
do
think
that
the
all
cubs?
time.
Do you think the mom is like aware, like freaking out,
Yeah.
like where's my cub?
Yep. But it's like
But
when
they
I
can smell it from.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of different smells in the air, dude. This isn't just in the middle of nowhere. You got golf courses going on. You got, you got a big subdivision where people's trash are out and like that. She could have just went out and went into some people's trash like they do in Jersey. Jersey has more bears than fucking any other state.
Do they really?
Yes.
Probably not than any other state.
Ooh, I don't know.
Really?
Well,
are they up there?
We're the parts of Jersey where it's very populated. There's a ton of bears, tons of them, man, and it's a very populated
Where are they
area.
coming from?
Up north. But these bears,
Like the Adirondacks and stuff.
Yeah, they creep down. New York's a big state.
Yeah,
creeps down. They do a thing. But these bears in our subdivisions didn't come from the north, come from the south. They're living in Arkansas, and they're creeping.
Tennessee.
Yeah, but they follow the river.
Yeah,
and they cruise up, and we're right by the river.
They end up on the golf course.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of food laying around. There's a fucking hot dog in the trash over there. There's this going on. Yeah.
Because I've seen those shows where somebody may be like hunting a different animal, and then they see a bear.
Oh yeah,
300-400 yards away through their, and the bear is like smelling you from that far.
Exactly. Smell you from a mile away.
It knows you're there.
Yeah.
So
track you.
So
down.
There's been plenty of times where I've been hiking through the woods, and the bear is watching me, and I don't even know. I have no idea that the bear is even watching.
No,
you know that?
Yeah, Andy, I'm the one that says this, and you repeat what I say. And a mountain lion too. They know.
Yeah.
But brown bears or black bears are skittish. If that son of a bitch was a brown bear or a grizzly.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Oh my God, that's the most horrific. And now you have a werewolf. The black bear, you could be like, and he'll be like, ooh, and he'll probably cruise off. Now, I wouldn't want to fuck with that. If Kate's walking Willow and Luna.
So what they do with it?
If Kate's walking Willow and Luna, and she runs across this black bear, like the black bear might go against the dogs and go.
What if the dog takes off and goes after the bear?
That would happen too. It's not. That's what's scary. That's why Kate's like, I love it.
I got
and
you.
she's like, fuck me,
No, it's nice to be in nature.
Yeah.
Like bears cruising around.
But the biggest threat out there still is not a bear. Is not a mountain lion. It's not a coyote. What do you think it is?
The biggest threat.
The biggest threat to our community out there. What do you think it is?
Well, do you know in Canada people are stealing cars left and right? Do you know that the car theft in Canada is at the highest that it's ever been?
Canada, you got your own problems.
No.
We got our car theft here.
Why are you
talking about Canada in car theft when we have St. Louis here where guys are getting fucking their cars stolen by 15-year-olds with illegal guns, and then they take your car and your cell phone and they kill you.
They're stealing cars left and right.
So what is it?
Montreal,
Don't change the subject.
Canada.
What is it?
The biggest threat. Well, that's one of them. Is the car theft?
No one's stealing cars out by me, dude. They steal in your subdivision. What is it?
God, give me the options again.
It's a deer. Hitting a deer with your vehicle is the biggest threat.
That'd be like running into a brick wall.
It's the biggest threat going. Our subdivision's like having meetings about the abundance of deer out there. It's fucking
Are you attending these meetings?
Hell no.
You need to.
No, I keep track of everything. I got my guys on the board that know. Man, I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Do you get like recaps with the board members afterwards?
Yeah, but the deer are the biggest threat because you hit them with your kids are going to hit them with their car. And you go into the job site 6 o'clock in the morning. They walk right out.
Can't see
They
them.
haven't adapted yet. So if you go hunt for a deer in the woods, they'll fucking pick you out from far away and be like, nope, you're not getting me. But when it comes to vehicles, they still are pretty goddamn dumb about it. And they haven't adapted yet. Maybe in the next 400 years, they'll see vehicles and stuff like that and be like, no, I know what this is.
What do you think they see when they see a vehicle?
They don't know what it is yet. It hasn't. It's like formed into their ancestry yet, if that makes any sense.
No,
you know what I mean?
right, no.
But
hunting to stay away from the
hunting
cars.
has been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
You think
so they'll know
aware? You think they're aware of hunters? No.
Yeah, dude.
You think the deer know they're people that are trying to kill them?
Then go hunting and try to kill a deer. You make one little move, dude, they're gone. But you're driving 60 miles an hour on a goddamn highway, and they're creeping out, and you're like, and they're like, what do I do? Boom.
What kind of impact is that when you hit a deer?
Oh, brick wall. Not to mention, when you if you had a vehicle, like my truck's going to bulldoze it over, but if you have a car, you're going to hit it, and you're going to kill it. But it's going to pop up, and it's going to go right through your windshield and knock you out, and hopefully
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's going through the windshield, is it? The deer?
And the antler,
the antler.
Imagine you're a deer and you have a car that's this big, like a Honda Accord, and you're going, my truck's up to here. So when it hits a deer, it's flattening it. But a car that's this high,
it's rolling up the hood,
right up and fucking hitting you in your windshield, and
the antlers are
going to go right through. It's going to stick that little stomach of yours,
Oh,
and you're fucked. That's the biggest threat going. What do you think number 2 is in our subdivision?
Are we talking about your subdivision or my subdivision?
We're talking about Missouri, and it's probably your subdivision too. Deer, you can still hit, I guess, out by you.
Oh, dude, I get a lot of
But
deer
the number one
in my
thing
backyard.
in your house and my house is what?
Burglars.
Your house.
No, I don't get it. Burglars in my.
No,
neighborhood.
okay, I'm gonna put them in a different category. What do you think it is?
God, are we sticking with the animal theme here?
What you fucking asking me questions? It's
Okay.
brown recluse. It's a spider.
Oh,
They're gonna get you more than anything else.
Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows.
Eddie, you didn't know any of
Are
this
the
kind of
brown
stuff.
recluse? Are they back right now?
No, they've always been.
I know. How do you identify them?
Oh, they got tiny, scrawny little legs, and they're just little brown little thing,
Mhm.
and they look like a mini, like what those?
Like a cicada.
Not even close. You know, daddy long legs.
Yeah.
You remember daddy long legs? You can pick them up. They're not biting through. Although they'll kill all those spiders. Daddy long legs are like most. They'll kill all the spiders, but they can't break your skin.
Well, no, cicada.
It's like a tarantula can't do it. But a brown recluse is little, and it's got long dangly legs, and it's brown. And if you see those hidden anywhere, they're in your shoe, and if they bite you, you're going into the hospital for at least 3 days.
What happens?
If they bite you,
Your body swells up.
oh my God, your whole leg swells up. You'll be in the hospital for days, if not weeks,
You know, I was hiking with a buddy of mine one time. He got stung by a bee, and his whole
because he's probably allergic to it.
foot just.
He's allergic to it.
We were freaking out. I mean, we had to rush him to the hospital.
He's
Now,
allergic to it.
getting back to the brown recluse, the only reason I said cicada is because a couple things. You know,
Cicadas are gone now, baby.
well, I was just in.
You didn't notice that?
They weren't gone in Chicago.
They're gone here.
Okay, so I was up in Chicago this weekend. All these families are from the East Coast.
They're like, what the fuck is that?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
they had never seen one. They're hearing it. They're like,
That's
"Oh
what
my
it's-
God, is that what it is?" So they're hitting them in the face. They're flying around.
Yeah.
So a few of them. I mean, this is how like interesting it was. They're like taking pictures of the cicada, and I didn't realize when you take a picture of a cicada, like what they really look like.
Hideous.
No, they got like brown spots and stuff like that. It's very. No, I gotta show you a picture of a
Dude,
of a
they're-
cicada. They're like they look like they'd be like in the butterfly house or something like that. They got interesting little,
they're hideous.
more of an interesting print than I.
But
thought
there's
that
a
they had.
reason why cicadas are around. There's some sort of cycle going on with nature that there's a need for them. Whether it's the fish, whether it's the birds, whether it's the snakes, whether it's the spiders
that.
or whatever. Yeah, they're disgusting. I don't know why you think that's
But
beautiful.
you see how? No, I didn't say it's beautiful. But I didn't realize they look at the eyes, dude.
Yeah, they're harmless. Imagine those things stung you.
Oh,
Could you imagine if those things stung you and they stung you like a brown recluse? We'd all be fucked.
could you imagine
They're,
what
they were
kind of
everywhere.
pandemic would it be if these? I said this to you the other day,
Of course you did.
and now he's stealing it. See?
No, you steal my stuff.
No,
dude.
no, no.
You
he's
can't think of
stealing
anything on
it.
your own besides hockey fucking shit.
Yeah, you're stealing it because I said to you the other day, what would it be an absolute pandemic
Big
if
time.
these things were stinging us
Yeah.
and if they could kill you?
Yeah.
And people were dying from cicadas. We wouldn't be able to leave our house because
in lockdown.
you'd be walking. Because
COVID.
you know, I'd be like hanging out on my deck, smoking a cigar, listening to some tunes, very peaceful,
Yeah.
and the cicadas are hitting you in the face. There was a guy this past weekend, the cicada landed right on his face. He punched himself in the face. He didn't mean to, but he didn't know what it was. Like, they're freaking out about these cicadas because they had never seen them before.
They're harmless.
him. So I had to explain that with my experience with cicadas, that they don't hurt you.
Did the
But
people at
still-
Creve Coeur Racquet Club not know that cicadas were harmless?
I'm talking about when
Are they that
I
dumb?
was in Chicago this weekend
Okay.
with people from the East Coast who had not experienced what we've been dealing with this summer with the cicadas.
They knew about it, dude.
But they were very interested in it because it's so loud.
yeah, they're annoying.
Chicago, they're kind of like the way it was here maybe like 3 or 4
Yeah,
weeks ago.
they've passed us here, man. So like you're not annoyed by them
You
anymore.
still hear them.
I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Are they
not anymore.
completely
No, they're gone.
I
I
didn't
told
listen
you.
last
Yeah, they're-
night when I got back
Yeah.
in town.
Well, turn your hearing aid up. They're gone. They're absolutely gone, which is good. But they did their thing, and the fish ate them and all that
so
stuff.
what would have happened if they
Well,
would
a lot of
attack
us would be
human
dead.
beings?
I'd be dead because I know one just flies in my truck and it doesn't. You don't know it flew in your truck and it's on your goddamn shoulder, and all of a sudden it goes, "Grr," and I'm driving like, "Ah."
Do you know how many like hit my windshield?
Yeah.
I was driving.
Oh, it's on. Oh, God, on 55. Damn right.
It's like almost like satisfying when you hear that sound. It just comes in.
Get that thing.
I mean, and they're just
Get
flying right into the windshield. So you wonder, like, much like the deer who don't know to stay away from cars, if the cicadas hundreds of years from now, if they're gonna know to stay away from.
Who cares about them? We want the deer to figure
What's
it
the
out.
benefit of a cicada, you think?
I told you there's something. There's always something with the cycle of life.
Right.
You know, there's always something. So I guess
They
again,
must
birds,
eat bugs or something.
and then bugs eat them, and then birds eat them, and then fish eat that. It's just there's something to it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But they're just that was a weird thing. Now we're not going to see it for another 17 years, so who cares? You know.
Had a great time in Chicago this weekend. Spent a lot of time with people from Boston and different other areas, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I always love the different accents from around the world, Cam. Whether it's Asia, Russia, Europe. I grew up in a European household. For people who don't know, my grandparents were European. And my mom was born in Sweden. But her whole family, they spoke like a million different languages, dude.
Well, if you're from Sweden, you're speaking English pretty well.
You know, I know that. But her parents, Czech Republic, Polish, like hardcore like accents and all that stuff, and they're speaking a million different languages. Like, how do people develop an accent? Like a Boston East Coast accent. It's different than any other accent I've ever heard. You know what I mean?
Well,
Southern
I'll give you an
accents.
example.
How do you develop a Southern accent?
I'll give you an example. You come
New
from-
York is different than Boston.
What do you think New Orleans is? It's French.
Yeah.
You go down there,
It's Creole.
and then they speak French, and then they kind of adapt to it. Our hillbilly language comes from that. The French accent. It's very
I
like.
don't have hillbilly language.
No, you don't, because you live in the fucking city. I'm a hillbilly. When you come out by me, you hear it. You'll hear that Southern drawl. You'll hear the Missouri drawl. It's not a twang, it's a drawl.
So
We have
give me
in
an
Missouri.
example.
Hey, the heck you doing out, Kenny? That is a
Mhm.
drawl. That's a Missouri drawl. And that all kind of stemmed from New Orleans.
That's in Arkansas.
That came. You hear these New Orleans, you can barely hear them talk.
Yeah.
It's just how they adapt to it in the South.
One
You know what I
time,
mean?
1 pound of butter, y'all.
Yeah, buddy, yeah. That one guy
Like,
goes, dang,
yeah,
with his son.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
cool as hell.
Oh, he's cool as
Yeah, he's
shit.
on a
I follow him.
Blackstone.
Yeah.
Although
He's
he's eating some of the food, I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But
he's just cool.
he's cool. Yeah, he's just a southern boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could barely understand what they're saying. There's some places in Louisiana you wouldn't even
Okay,
understand what they're
So,
saying.
all right, the Southern accent is different than even that, what you're talking about.
Yeah, it just
Okay.
mixes its way up. And then you go to Arkansas and you sound a little different. Then you hit Missouri, you sound a little different. You
Okay.
go down to Texas, I always talk, men are weird everywhere. The women, because I've noticed the Missouri drawl for women is not that attractive. If they got a little Southern drawl, they talk like, but in Texas, they got a twang too.
Mhm.
Like a twang. Like it's just different.
You
It's
know, like a
sexier.
Mississippi, Alabama has a little bit of a twang.
Texas has it more, I think, than them. They got that draw down there a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Oh, you'll know the difference.
Not when I see like
West Virginia, that kind
the
of stuff.
Southern Belle, dude.
I believe Tennessee
How do you
has
like,
a twang.
when you envision like the Southern Belle, how they talk? What can I get for you, sweetheart? Like that.
You'll know great
There's
people.
a lot
Yeah,
of
there's great people.
there's a lot of that.
But-
You haven't been to a diner down in there, so
You're out of your damn mind. But you hear the guys that grew up in the middle of Missouri, man. They got talk like they're and in Texas it has just it's a little bit more crisp. But it's all good, man.
But see, Cam, a huge part of Texas, like they don't have any accent too.
No, they're speaking Spanish because they're
Like Blake-
cruising into that
Blake-
southern border in Brownsville.
Blake Coleman, we just had him on. He's from Texas. Did you notice?
Yeah, he moved around.
Right.
No, I did not at all. But he's from he's from like the inner part of Dallas.
Yeah,
stuff
so
like that.
part of Dallas.
Mhm.
Remember Marty Turco had to like explain to you.
Well, because I am not from St. Louis.
Yeah.
And so I always think that maybe people are like me that are from an hour away.
Well, you're from St. Louis.
Dude, I'm from fucking Pacific, Missouri, dude. I never grew up in St. Louis. I never lived in St. Louis. I'm from way the fuck out there.
Eureka. is
The
like
people
St.
that talk
Louis.
out there and the people that talk in St. Louis are completely
Okay,
different.
but Eureka,
So get out of here.
Eureka is St. Louis, basically.
Not where I grew up. I didn't grow up in Eureka. I grew up way out in the woods, dude, past St. Louis County. I was in Franklin.
How
I was
far
in Jefferson,
past Eureka did you?
15 miles
Okay, that's not that.
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
15 miles. That's
Okay.
not that long. Get out of here.
Well, 15 minutes, whatever.
It's just why you have to like?
I'm thinking.
Why do you have
thought
to
you were
counter
saying,
how I
like,
grew up? You know
Southern,
exactly-
Southern Missouri.
You're gonna write a book about all of us growing up. Don't you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know where I grew up?
I do.
Why do you have to counter
I
me
do,
on
but
that?
you claim Eureka, so I always get confused.
Well, because it's easier to say.
You
And I
say
went to
House
Eureka.
Springs.
When I tell people where I'm at, I claim Eureka
Mhm.
because I went to Eureka High School
Yeah.
and I went to Gagey Elementary and I went to LaSalle Springs. But I still lived
So
way the fuck.
elementary, you went to Eureka.
Yeah, but I didn't live in Eureka.
Oh.
I lived way out there still
Mhm.
until my parents had to sell that fucking house
Yeah.
and we moved in to a subdivision in downtown
Okay,
Eureka.
so listen, let's get back to it. So Wisconsin, they have specific accents.
hmm Canadian.
North Dakota.
Yeah.
Specific
It's like it's
accents.
Canadian. And Wisconsin, and Minnesota.
How is all
Fargo,
this?
Minnesota.
Yes. Yeah, you betcha.
You bet you there. Hey there, how are you?
You know,
Like
Peelsy
Timmy
kind
Peelsy.
of.
I know. So fucking fun. Anytime I say that, it's Peelsy. I think he's got that. Peelsy grew up in, a trailer park in Nova Scotia, where trailer park boys and shit are. They got that heavy fucking accent, dude.
Okay, so how is everyone developing accents in a country where everyone speaks the same language?
Dude, because we all came from different areas around the world. Our ancestors came and we grew up as different.
And you're born with it?
Dude, when you grew up, I heard this and I heard normal. It was a mixture of both. And so
you just talk how you hear?
Yeah. My parents could talk like this, but they grew up in Brentwood and moved way out there.
Okay.
But if they were born out there, they probably would have had that fucking roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why. God.
Kenny.
Why do I have to Kenny get back to work?
Okay, so
that kind of thing.
The Boston accent.
Yeah,
I'm sure you play with a lot of.
It's not. Listen, I love all you Jersey folk. God, love you to death. You treated me so damn good. I love the food. I love the people. But the women, the accent, when it's really, really
Jersey?
staunch, is not very attractive. That's all. No big deal. Beautiful women, great. But when they have that Jersey Mike the Situation accent, it's not a turn on for me. I like that Southern, that twang.
Like the Real Housewives of New Jersey, like those girls. I know you're saying. You watch that show still?
Fucking no. Although they live down my buddies in Florida where they're at and stuff like that. But no.
They all get indicted for tax fraud.
Tax fraud. Yeah, exactly. No, I know. Tax fraud.
Intro, but the Boston accent.
I pay my taxes.
I loved listening to the Boston accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was cool.
But when women do it, it's a little different than when men do it. That's all.
I want to give a shout out to Yarrow Halak. He was my kid's coach for the weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Teammate.
Great teammate, you did? Kid's a hell of a goalie. His kid. Good. Great family, but he was coaching. Got all these guys that are now coaching kids. Zdeno Chara's a coach. He's got twin boys with Lee Stempniak and Yarrow Halak. They all coach the same team out of Massachusetts. He's 5 wins shy of 300 for his career. So somebody needs to sign Yarrow Halak. He wants to play again. He was in camp or he went into Carolina last year on a tryout or whatever. He played with Shesterkin and the Rangers last season.
Yeah.
So he's still hoping to play again. So I hope
he made some good money, man.
I hope he gets that. I hope he gets that opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good teammate.
You know what I mean?
Cool. He was really quiet when I played with him.
Yeah, focused.
Yeah, just quiet.
Yeah.
He's a quiet guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I didn't really get to party with him or hang out with him. We had our different cliques and stuff.
Yeah.
But he was always nice.
Who was in your clique?
Fucking Oshbergy, fucking EJ, Jay McKee, Danny Hino.
BJ Crombie.
BJ. Well, he'd take care of us.
BJ would? What do you mean?
He's a nice, because he didn't party hard.
Right.
He wanted to
He
make sure
he was cool, but he'd hang out. He just would make sure everything
was worried a little bit. We were going pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just a good
BJ,
guy, man.
I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and BJ Crombie, again, smart, nice, tough, one of my favorite teammates ever.
Tough.
And he's got fucking,
he had diabetes.
Diabetes. So he would wake up, he would have to click, he'd have this little thing every goddamn dude. I'm telling you, diabetes must be the biggest pain in the ass. He's got this little thing that he has to take every 15 minutes.
Insulin.
He'd stick his finger, stick something, play it, do his thing, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night, I'd be like, and all of a sudden he'd wake up and he'd have to take a Snicker bar from the snack and drink a soda at 3 o'clock in the morning, just to get his sugar to where it needs to be, and then pass right back out.
I know.
He was cut up, not an ounce of fat on him. But that must have been tough, dude. You could see the scars on his fingers from tapping that damn thing.
There's a lot of
man.
Max Domi's.
Yeah, Dome's got it. Yep.
Luke,
it's not the end of the world.
Lukey Cunnin, man,
and you get used to it.
And
Lukey.
a lot of professional athletes, manage it and perform at a high level with it. Man, I give those guys a lot of credit.
Yeah, it's not easy to deal with at all.
No,
I had asthma as a kid, and that was scary, and I grew out of it.
Yeah,
I grew out of asthma.
Jay McClement, great guy.
Yeah, T-Mac was great.
Quiet too, man.
Yeah, damn good player. Yeah. Damn good.
He's like a responsible guy you want to have around.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Hey, how about we do this?"
Yeah.
We're all fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
He played hard. Good two-way
He did
game.
play hard. I like J-Mac, dude. Damn right. Good dude.
He played 800 games or something like that.
Yeah, he had a great career. Made some good money.
900 games.
He should be coaching, I'd say, somewhere. Unless he's got kids, he probably just wants to coach his kids. He made enough money.
Just chill.
Yes.
I like those guys who had these long careers and they just kind
They
of
just kinda stay out in the spotlight.
do their thing.
They coach their kid and they love their family,
Yes.
and they probably invest their money the right way.
And they're doing
They don't
other
need to go-
things.
They don't need to be online,
Mhm.
filming themselves every day, trying to, monetize fucking everything possible.
Yeah.
They have their little system down and they take care of their family.
You know, people say like Ryan Suter's a little different, quiet, and whatever, but apparently he like runs like a bunch. He's
I heard that.
bunch of businesses.
I heard that, and that's okay. That's great. But as your leader,
He's
you
not
want-
the captain.
he's one of the leaders of the team, and he has been for a long time. But I look at that. You're right.
Based on
And
experience. and-
Okay.
yeah.
But my point is, like, I play with guys that, they have so much knowledge, and like you want them to be around the young guys. But after they're done with practice, they're gone, and it's all business, business, and that's cool. Yeah, go make your money. You're already making money, but task in hand is here.
Mhm.
So maybe allocate some of your time towards the younger players and stuff like that. Then go into business.
If it's
meetings all
affecting
fucking
his
day.
game, then I would have an issue
It's
with
not
it.
even
Like,
about the game. It's more about like affecting your presence as a leader in the locker room because of other business. It has nothing to do with
I know exactly what you're saying,
So
but if I'm a general manager or an owner and I'm paying you $100 million, which is what his previous
that's
deal
what my
was,
point is.
and
I need you around.
And if you're not, but no, if your outside interests are taking you away from your full-time job, then that would be an issue. And if it's not, then hey, you do whatever you need to do outside of the rink. From a teammate standpoint, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Can we go to
because-
dinner tonight? Can I pick your brain?
Yeah, I get
I
that.
got a business meeting with Biles.
Like Miro Heiskanen may want to like talk to you about business or something. I'm sure he's available for those type of
I
players.
remember a couple guys like
or for his team.
Lou got pissed a couple times. Not that you're doing, but like you take your business in the locker room, like maybe in the lounge, you're talking on the phone, you're making deals in front of all the guys. Like, no, talk to the guys.
BJ Crombie was going to school during this.
He never mentioned it to anybody. He never fucking went out of his way to talk on the phone when he could have been with the guys. He never did any of that. He did it secretly, and he did his own thing. But my point is, I remember some of the brass getting pissed at a couple. I'm not gonna name the names, but they'd come in the locker room, sit in our lounge before practice, where we're all shooting the shit about stuff, and he's making fucking business calls about nothing that has to do with
keep it away from the rink.
Just do it away.
Keep it away from the rink.
Talk to us.
And I'm
man.
sure
we're an older guy.
Suter does keeps it away from the rink.
Keep it away from the rink.
Wasn't it Colton Parayko who was he had like a final, or he was like taking finals like during the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. But but he's not coming in like, gosh, guys, let me tell you about my studying I had to do.
He's just on the plane like reading shit.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
And I bet you studies for a lot of people, and I could see this for Parayko. It just comes natural.
That's totally cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just
keeps his brain moving. And
your number
whatever.
one focus is your teammates and the team you're playing on.
And it didn't affect
and your family.
His game. Yeah, that's for sure.
No, his back probably affected his game more than anything when he was.
But I'm talking about during that playoff run.
Yeah. No, he's just
2019.
Yeah. He's not walking in like, hey guys, what do you think about this?
Did you ever consider going back to school?
No. Not at all. Dude, I'd have to start from scratch in high school. I quit high school in 9th grade, dude.
You didn't go to 10th grade?
I did, but I didn't do anything.
You never got like a grade. You didn't finish the
Didn't even
year.
go to class. I would just fuck off the whole time. I was playing for the St. Louis Sting in North American Hockey League.
So you weren't going to school?
I was already drafted by the Spitfires at the time. Oh yeah, just go with a pencil, walk in late, do whatever I wanted.
I get that, but so you were going to school?
Didn't do any work, nothing.
Like what were your grades?
Oh, I didn't turn in any papers.
So that was 10th grade.
Yep.
And then you left 11th grade.
Yep.
And you didn't go to school in Windsor? No, I'm just asking.
I went to hang out with girls.
So would they advance you to the next grade?
Yeah. No, wait. I don't even remember.
Did you go as a senior?
I was probably considered a freshman still, and
so you didn't get a diploma?
No, not at all.
They were like, "Hey, you're like only a couple classes
I would be
away.
in such a different situation.
No, you're like in a couple classes away from graduating.
No, it wasn't even close.
They weren't like, and they didn't call you in and be like, Cam, you're not going to graduate.
100%. But me and my family were already just like, no, just focus on you. Okay, we've already they couldn't do anything else. They accepted it. I was busting my ass doing everything. I was boxing. I was training harder than anybody else at my age at that time. So I was in a good spot and I was dominating. So my parents just let it go and it all worked out. But I'm not suggesting that to anybody else. Don't fucking do what I did.
No,
Don't
but I
ever do what I did.
You're not the only one. I've met dozens and dozens of players who do not have a high school grade diploma.
No.
You know,
it wouldn't have made a difference. I wish I can go back and encounter maybe my history teacher at times with different stuff now that I know that, because I study on my own now. I've been doing it since I was younger, just reading about shit and whatnot. So I wish I can go back and just sit in a history class and ask questions and have a conversation with my history teacher in high school because he was so cool. And I just didn't give a fuck at the time. And now I look back at it and I'm like, damn, I wish I was in there just shooting the shit with you, you know?
Yeah.
I love history.
Well, you can always go back, man. You can take
like Billy Madison?
you can take a class
I don't
at a
need
college,
to do that.
at a
For
community.
what?
If you want,
I know.
if you wanted to go learn
I just read my own stuff.
Well,
Like, I
I'm
don't
just
need
saying,
anybody to teach me.
You're saying you would like to go back. And
and just...
I said you could sign up for a class if you want to do that.
No, I want to be like in the class and talk to them, you know, not just online and be like, hey, here's a question.
No, you go to class.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Like a fucking creepo. Not doing that.
It was always weird, like in college when you had like the person who was like in their like 50s and 60s.
Hey, Lisa, my mom did that.
I know, but it was
So
always they stuck out.
My mom did that.
Mhm.
She had to go back to school and got her nursing degree and worked at Clayton Prison and dealt with fucking scumbags for years.
There was a really cool guy. He was probably his 60s, big time hippie, who was taking a class, and he brought the professor like a bag of weed on the last day of school and gave it to the teacher.
The guy's probably
Just
smoking.
gave it to him, and I think the teacher was like, "Oh, thank you very much," and whatever.
It ain't no big deal. You know what's weird is whenever a teacher fucking hooks up with a fucking young girl.
Oh God, we have to talk about that again.
Happens all the time.
It's happening quite often.
There's pedophiles.
It's happening a lot of times with a lot of female teachers too, which
I see that.
did not think that was the trend. I thought it was the other way around. A lot of
Play
like,
up in Windsor. See what's up.
oh, is that a? See, now you're making a bad name for people who are listening out of Windsor, and all my people over Saskatchewan and everybody.
We love all you.
Coast to coast.
Andy
Canada,
doesn't get it,
all my
but-
people. Okay,
I think I was old. Well,
all the shit kickers.
it
out
just
there.
wasn't.
But
yeah.
Cam's acting like if you're a teacher in Windsor, that this
Not
is
everyone.
well, you're creating that reputation. That's not
Windsor was
fair.
great
So
to
you
me.
better talk to these people
Well,
because you got some backpedaling to do, dude. Go
and I did my thing. Like I just
with the teachers.
Yeah.
Oh, more than one.
Yeah, but one was at a different school. Just a small town. It's not
Okay,
It's
well,
not the teacher.
You
it's
act
not
like it was a student-teacher relationship.
Well, you asked me about it. You're like, "What? If, God, this happened." I'm like, "Well, it kind of, you know, but it's all good."
Like your teacher.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Mike, you went to
Not
her
in
class
Eureka.
every day?
yeah. I still had to go to class every day. I pulled up in my big ass fucking. I had a huge.
What was
Suburban.
she teaching?
I, had
What
I bought a
class?
huge Suburban because I signed at 18.
Mm.
I had a couple $100,000. Lou signed me right away because I knew my parents didn't have any money, and I needed to work out and have money to work out and train. And so I bought this fucking huge Suburban with a brush guard on it. I had a cell phone, which is weird in the early 2000s. Parked wherever I wanted. I just was doing what I wanted. I tried not to be a dick, but I was in my own program. But
What
yeah,
was she teaching?
I don't remember.
Like you went to her class every day and then started hooking up with the teacher?
Yeah.
Or was she just happened to be a teacher who you met outside of school?
Both. You know.
Dude,
But I was like
do
fucking
you know she
30
could
when
get
I
in
was-
trouble for this
Who's she?
even today?
What's her name? You don't know. No idea.
Like,
That was fucking 25
is there a
years ago.
statute of limitations
Yes.
for sexual
And no one knows
assault?
her name.
Well,
No one knows her
they're gonna come ask.
It ain't that big of a deal.
They're gonna
I'm a
come-
big boy.
No, they're gonna come ask you. They want to know. They're
I'll
gonna want to get down to the
I
bottom.
have no
of
idea
this.
what her name is.
They're gonna want to get down to the bottom.
What do you
of
think? I'm
this.
lying?
Well,
Do you
like,
think I am?
I didn't say you were. What I'm saying is
I remember calling my parents and telling them,
she assaulted a child underage, dude, and they're gonna try to get her.
is 17 underage in Windsor?
You tell me. I think so.
Maybe. Maybe. Dude, I was beating the fuck out of guys. I was living on, like, come on.
Doesn't matter.
No, it does. In my opinion, it does. So I'm not a vulnerable kid.
Well,
Like, I'm not some young girl where a fucking football coach is
she-
going down and hooking up. Like, there's a big difference.
She assaulted you.
She gave me signs, and I pursued it. Okay? I pursued it. Trust me. And that's when the internet...
Yeah, she should be prosecuted for this.
Oh, she's so good, Andy. Calm down. But that's when the internet started popping up, and you can message people, and that's how they connected with me on the internet at the time in early 2000s.
On MySpace?
No, it was something different, but you could message and send pictures.
Oh, God.
Yes, early 2000s, and that's how I hooked up with them. Nothing that they said in class, nothing they said, but they messaged me, and I'm like, what's up? And then they start sending me,
What would she say?
Weird.
Like, hey, it's Mrs. Smith.
yes. And then she'd say, check this out.
Oh,
And
gosh.
she'd have something in her vagina.
Oh my
And I'm like,
God,
where?
the T-shirt?
Yeah. I go, where are you? Where are you? Let's go. Let's meet up. And then boom.
Okay.
I know.
It's
all good.
Someone is gonna have to speak with you.
Okay. I even told my parents. They were so nerve-wracked me leaving too at that age. It's all good. This doesn't happen all the time. But it happened with me. But it's my fault. So fuck. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim.
If you were a player, would you?
Never a victim with anything that happened to me.
No,
never.
No, you
It's
are.
all my
You
fault.
didn't know it, but you are.
No, I'm not.
You're a child victim
No, I'm not.
of assault.
I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a fucking grown-ass adult. She did weird things, too.
Oh, my God. Hey, listen.
Weird.
We got to get to the bottom of this because she assaulted you.
No, she didn't.
Yes.
We don't need...
No.
No, it's all good. It was consensual.
If you're a kid.
I wasn't a kid, dude. I had a fucking beard. Like, I'm a man.
All these that you're reading about are consensual, too.
There's manipulation that goes on. No one manipulated me. I did them.
If you were a player, would you wear, I'm going to give you a choice, to the press conference, an NHL hoodie or your own
You
clothes?
talking about Vander Kane?
Mhm.
He's so cocky, man. I don't know what the fuck to think of him.
I'm asking you.
I don't root for
I
him.
asked you the question.
I feel bad for him because I know his ex-wife is a fucking nutbag, and I don't want to chirp too much, but I see what she posts and stuff like that, and it's like she tries to get him all the
She's
time.
still doing that?
Not recently, but she went to a couple games sitting by the glass, I remember, like during the year, and she's like filming them, and then they kicked her out of the building one time.
I remember.
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So she's a psycho.
Was that in San Jose?
Oh, know what she did? And listen, we're talking about other people's fam, but this is all public knowledge, so we're not. It is what it is. But I felt bad, and Evander Kane's not I'm not his biggest fan. He's not my. It's all good. I don't like the way he presents. Do I think he's a good teammate? Probably not. But I remember seeing videos of his ex-wife filming him when he's picking up his daughter from her house, and like the daughter's right there, and she's like, "You scumbag," and filming him, and Evander's like, "Just let me get my daughter out here. Let me get my daughter." It just was sad. It made me fucking teary-eyed because the little girl.
Well, that's not his fault.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's the one. But it was toxic, and the little girl's involved, and that's tough to see, especially when you're filming it like that. Look, you're filming your daughter.
Okay.
That's always going to be there.
I just
never
asked
understood
you
that.
if you'd wear the NHL hoodie to the press conference.
I want to look slick.
Okay.
I want to be my own. Yeah.
Well, that's what he's
100%.
doing.
Do I want to wear a Mickey Mouse shirt walking in like
Russell Wilson?
no, like
Russell Westbrook?
Did he do that? Or like Mitchie Marnie did one time. He's got like a Mickey Mouse shirt. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
It was a Gucci one, I think.
Gives a
That cost
shit.
about
Mickey Mouse,
$5,000 probably.
bunch of weirdos down there too. You're supporting that, like that's cool. Anyway, that's not my jam, but I don't mind having your own, style.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a metrosexual and all you care about is shopping and how you look optically, then it goes too far.
Is that how you define metrosexual?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like having sex on a bus or anything like that. It's not.
No, it's like, how do I look? I gotta look different. I gotta be the best looking guy. I'm just worried about my looks. Worried about my looks.
I find that like it's media driven a lot of times at the NBA games because they film all these guys walking in, right? Even like Stephen A. Smith thinks he's like a player now. He's like wearing like, I don't mind him wearing his loud suits and stuff like that, but they film him walking into the building like he's about to play the game. Have you
He's
seen
an
that?
MMA guy. You didn't know? You see his boxing, what he did?
A long time ago, yeah.
He goes like this.
You see his first pitch?
Did he throw like this?
Yeah,
Ah!
kinda.
It's fucking embarrassing. Yes, you're right. We tripped him for that.
There's been some other.
How do you not know how to throw a pitch? No.
Yeah,
How do you not know how to throw a ball? The first thing you do as a child is get a ball and you throw it. How do these guys that are literally breaking down sports every single day, they're breaking down sports and they're acting like your opinion, you are a fool because they know so much. And then they go out and throw a first pitch and they throw like fucking ouchie Fauci and it doubles down and it fucking...
Did Fauci throw the first pitch?
Oh, yeah.
Where? What game?
And he's an old man. But Stephen A. Smith, you're fucking literally breaking down sports and you don't know how to throw a ball.
Athletes.
Crushing guys. You don't know how to throw a ball. It's embarrassing. There's some other athletes, though, fucking superstar athletes that don't know how to throw a ball. It's really odd to me.
Well, a lot of European hockey players didn't grow up doing that.
Man, you have a ball right when you're a kid, you're just throwing it.
But I know.
It's just
but I've
weird.
seen some other media that have some first pitch moments that were
It's
not.
media. Usually the media, they're not the best athletes, let's be honest. No offense, but you're not. That's why you're in the media. Although I'm in the media.
But like play-by-play announcers and stuff like that.
Yeah, just
that
because
mean?
you know hockey doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're
Yeah.
an athlete. It's all good.
I just think you really got to practice, man. You're going to put yourself out there for a first pitch. You just better, like, get the form
know
down.
how to throw a ball.
You may have to hire a throwing coach.
Can you throw?
I can throw.
If we played catch out here and we filmed it, you wouldn't be embarrassed right now?
Not at all.
The only thing would worry
And I
is
would
my
love-
shoulder throwing.
I would
throw my shoulder out.
Do it with you in a heartbeat. Play catch.
Okay. Good.
Love playing catch.
You want to race me too?
Very therapeutic.
Remember we did that in
not
the
as-
parking lot?
No, that wasn't me. That was
No, you got on a weird, like, I don't know what your deal was. We got, like, I'm a better athlete than you. Somebody must have told you something.
Mm.
Somebody must have pumped your tires.
I
up.
could probably beat you in, like, one-on-one
What do you think?
basketball.
No way. I don't even know how to dribble, and I could beat you.
Well,
Just
that's
out
a
of athletic
problem.
ability.
That's a problem.
Just like athletic ability, I'll just go
You
right
have to know
around
how to
you.
play basketball.
I could just go right
It's been a little while since I've played.
What can you
so-
beat me at?
Like basketball.
What else?
Football.
How can you possibly even say that? How? Are you going to be faster than me? Can you hit harder than me? Are you stronger than me? In what detail are you better than me in football?
My
What?
preparation.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I would expose your lack of
Like a what?
detail.
Okay. Like a detail. Play for Lou for 7 years.
Hey,
Like a fucking detail.
Hey, you know what the hardest
Hey, if
part?
I made one mistake, I'm done for 3 games. Lack
Hey,
of detail.
Hey, the hardest part of doing this right now is because game 2
I
is
know.
tonight.
So, I know.
So it's like we're
That
like
sucks.
we don't know how much to get into the Stanley Cup final. You can't really get into game 1. I did like how McDavid said, "Hey, maybe the hockey gods got us." He admitted that they shouldn't
I
have
give
won
him a
game
shot.
6, man.
I give him a shout out.
McDavid's becoming more and more likable. dude.
Yeah.
And that's that he never was because he always has been.
Well, he was kind of he gets grumpy.
But
I
no,
guess,
no, no,
but
no.
we've
But
chirped
this
him
is
for
why
that.
it's important
Yeah.
for the superstars,
I love
the elite of the elite of the elite
Yeah.
of the elite to be on the big stage. They got to be on the big stage.
Yeah, and he got cut open by Bennett.
Yeah.
And the Bennett hit too, by the way. Like, I think I know Bennett now.
Mhm.
Like he had 12 hits in that game, and he had like 3 penalties, and he could have had a couple more penalties.
Mm.
But I do think when they collided, Bennett and McDavid, I think Bennett knew the trajectory he was on, and he knew McDavid was coming back on side.
Yeah.
And maybe he act like he didn't see him.
Nobody saw him. Dude, that's why.
I know, but he act like he didn't. That's why he didn't get a penalty.
Of course.
So when you're looking down, also he said, "What
Yeah.
happened?"
No, he's smart.
Yeah, I've done that before. Bennett's fucking smart, and he gets under your skin. Every little play, right after the whistle,
Yeah.
you could he'll like just give you something little where he's always in the mix. And then also like, it's not like he's fast. He's not toe dragging guys, but he's just disrupting everything. Even on that forecheck where they scored that big time goal, Verhaeghe did, where Evander Kane had his head up his ass. He just goes in, just swipes the stick a little bit, and just kicks it back real quick. And Verhaeghe has that little 1T top shelf. Evander Kane's like, "What do I do?" Yeah, well, your guy's right there. He's right there. Not to mention Darnell Nurse. Sorry, Prongs. He's minus 15. You know what I mean? We were chirping that a little
Bronx
bit.
didn't defend his game.
Yeah, he kind of defended.
he just
defended
said,
it.
"Why does the media?"
I just listened to it. I'm like, damn, I should have countered Prongs on that a little bit more. I don't know what the fuck I was
Well,
thinking.
Darnell Nurse has been overrated for quite some time in relation to the money that he's making. It's
Minus 15.
this is nothing
when you're
new.
goal differential.
People inside the game, on the inside, have been saying this over and over collectively for the last couple of seasons. So this is nothing new. It just takes a little while for it to get, because a lot of the people who
Yeah.
truly know the game, who have that opinion, aren't in a position to say that publicly. So
Whatever. The dude's minus 15, and their goal differential is crazy. So why is that? And you could tell he was lost the other day when they fucking
He's not-
scored.
I hate to say this, but I don't think he plays. I don't think he's got the highest level of hockey sense. I think that
Minus
is.
15 in the
Yeah.
playoffs, and they're dominating.
I think his on ice awareness is deficient.
He's slow, man.
Oh, I think he's a very good skater.
You do?
Oh yeah, I talked to Ken Hitchcock about that too recently, who coached him. He praised his ability to get up ice. Very powerful skater. He gets up ice. Like he's just not. The results.
I guess I gotta watch.
No, you
him
gotta
more.
watch. I don't think skating's the issue there, Cam, at all. I think that's a bad comment on your part. You might get choked for that,
Fine.
but-
Looks slow.
but that's not the issue. I think he just doesn't.
Then what's the issue? Oh, so his hockey sense is?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not very
okay.
good. Doesn't
So his hockey sense.
doesn't
Okay.
anticipate.
Andy tells you your hockey sense isn't good, Nurse. I say you're kind of slow. Chirp
So
whoever
which
you
one
want.
is it?
You know, chirp whoever you want. You know what I mean? You do the bottom line is you're minus 15.
You're
dude.
minus 15.
You're minus
and you're
15.
at the scene of the crime every goal against. All the time. And you have been for quite some time, and you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So when people chirp you, it's because you make a lot of money. Now, if you're making 3.5 or even 5.5,
Even 6.
it's probably, or 6, maybe it's not. And listen, I don't fault
You know
the Oilers that much because his reputation was probably higher than his actual game that he brought to the table when his contract was up. And at the time, the Oilers weren't in position to go out and get free agents. People weren't signing there. You got to overpay some guys, I understand, to keep them. But this has been a downward trend for the last several years.
So really hard for Edmonton to hire guys, to sign guys when you got McDavid and Draisaitl there?
Yeah.
I think. Why? Why do you think that is?
And I think now
why do you think
them
that
getting to the final, because they don't want to live in Edmonton. I mean, come on. Well, you tell me if you have a different reasoning. I'm just curious.
So you're going to overpay probably like $4 million a year for Darnell Nurse. That's a terrible
It wasn't
signing.
looked at like that at the time. At the time, I think they really believed this guy was a number one defenseman. Was going to be for a long time.
There's a different
He
story.
wasn't there. Bouchard now. Ekholm wasn't there. These guys.
No, I know.
You know what I
But
mean?
I'm like, look at the difference between those guys and Darnell Nurse.
They thought they had a number one.
9.5.
It was a terrible misread.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Awful.
That's what I'm saying.
And now they're paying the price. No pun intended. Is that a pun?
Doesn't matter. I like the Oilers, man. I like the way they're playing. I like their team.
If I was a veteran player who wasn't in position to get a long-term deal, but still kind of grinding it at 2 or 3 years, I would sign there. I'm not signing there long-term, raising a family and all that.
Sign
Like,
there if McDavid's there, and
I get it, but you don't even know if they're going to be there.
Well, as of whatever he signed, like he's going to probably
He's
be
got
locked
1
up.
year left,
No, but when he signed that deal,
or is it
McDavid
2 years left.
McDavid had a lot of term left, or whatever it was.
It's 2 years left. I think Draisaitl has 1 year, but I can't look it up right now because cap friendly. I think is frozen.
Oh yeah, because the cap.
Sold.
Hey, what's up with that? Because that's a new topic, and so
yeah.
what's going on with that? Because people were like, so they bought out cap friendly.
So and
I tried to talk about this on the radio, and no one understood what was going on. I go, no, I think they're trying to.
Don't know what cap friendly is probably.
No, they
which is
do.
a major resource for fans. So fans are going to have
fans or GMs and everybody. Like, is a different team? Are they trying to take it over so they have to look up a different website to see what fucking the salary cap is with different teams? Why are they doing
so
that?
here's what I was told by
Or is it
source,
a caps
by
and
source
capitals?
this morning? Let me just tell you what the source told me.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them a technology platform that would cost them more to develop in-house.
Okay, so it's a business move. It wasn't like a hockey business.
I don't think they're going to have a website that's out there, and I think it's still active until the end of the final.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's like something. I don't know if it's going to be something fans can access. I think it's going to be something that the Capitals, I would imagine, are using for themselves.
Yeah.
Now,
Is that smart?
some people are putting 2 and 2 together. It's called cap friendly. Does that make sense for the Capitals to?
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's cap friendly.
He didn't buy that just because it says cap on there and it's associated with capital.
Maybe that's a little more.
I think there's a little bit more to the meeting, but it's getting talked about.
This is something they want to use as a resource for their organization, and maybe it was more cost effective to just go out and buy the site
instead of just looking up on the internet
versus trying to create a platform in-house in terms of the cost of doing that.
Hey, man, if you got the money to do something like that to give you an edge for a little bit, why not? Shit. It's a business move.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Now,
are they moving rinks?
I don't think that's happening. They're trying to move to like Virginia or something. No, that got shut down.
It did. Okay, I was asking.
Keep them in D.C.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The Washington capital. They can't be like changing everything.
Yeah, I know. In Virginia, like you got to have people.
There's got to be some nostalgia left in my life.
You stay in the major part.
They changed the Washington Redskins name, and I know, to a lot of
no, that offended you.
Well,
he's somewhat Native American. You got a little Native American.
Yes, I do.
Does that offend you? Does Redskin offend you?
Well, no, but I would never be critical of those who were offended by it.
You mean the purple hair white dude?
You're saying the Native Americans weren't offended?
No, I know about the purple hair white guy.
Some Native American leaders spoke publicly that they were not offended.
I know
but I'm sure that there were that were offended.
I'd say the majority, I would say, wouldn't give a fuck. They got their own problems. They need, they got their own problems. They're fucking living in desperate times at some, parts of Canada and United States on those reservations, and it ain't good. So for them to be like, Redskin. Meanwhile, my fucking kids are on drugs. Our school system sucks. We need more government money. We're hungry. and we're not making any money.
Who's hungry?
These natives on the reservation.
Yeah, well, I spent a lot of time on the reservation.
Keep up.
Remember I told
Keep
you on the Navajo
So I say
reservation in
that's the
Arizona?
biggest problem, as a whole for them.
Mhm.
They need more funding and to be helped
No,
out. But the
100%.
Redskin, do you think the majority? I would say they probably don't. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we get a lot of those reservations.
Or is it the woman that just graduated college at Stanford and she's like, I'm tired of this, and she starts the movement and gets all her fucking friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Why Stanford? Or why are you blaming Stanford?
I don't know. I just do it.
I would let my kid go to Stanford.
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful
No,
campus.
I know.
Yeah, no, I used to spend some time on the reservation, Cam, because of
Hardcore, man. Drugs, OxyContin,
because
alcohol.
well, they had reggae concerts on
You're
the reservation
You're talking about
all
Colorado.
the time. No, Arizona.
You didn't go to You didn't go to the hardcore reservations. Oh yeah.
I'd go to.
Oh really? And you hung out?
I'd go to. Like,
Oh yeah.
They had like
I don't believe you.
sweat lodges and
I don't believe you.
and drum circles.
See, that's where you need to chill, because you're not going to these fucking hardcore reservations and act like you're hanging out.
Cam.
You went to somewhere that was just close to one, and you did your own thing away from it.
No,
Don't act like you're going in there and hanging out with the real people.
you're on the reservation.
Yeah.
You're on the reservation, and they'd have like drum circles and sweat lodges and like big fires. People would camp out, big festivals on the reservation. So you have like music playing all day long and stuff like that. Res dogs running around everywhere.
Look up some of these reservations, dude, and see how hardcore it is.
I'm
It's
sure
fucking
there's a
hardcore.
number that are
So
really...
don't act like you're part of the people. I hung out with all you guys. No, you didn't. You were at a fucking concert, and you're Volvo, and you could get out of here.
There's a lot
With your rich friends that you grew up with in St. Louis that went to the same school as you.
No.
Don't act like you're on the reservation fucking digging ditches and helping the people out. Get on with yourself.
No.
Get out of here. I went to a casino one time.
Oh, yeah.
Get
I
outta
went
here.
to casinos there on the
You act
reservation,
like you're part of the
too.
people. You're not, dude. They're going through hardcore shit.
I'm not saying
It's
they're
like
not.
Andy's like, I know the city. I go down in, the North City all the time. No, you don't. You don't fucking go in there. That is a war zone, dude. Don't act like you're with the people in there. It's a fucking war zone. Your family doesn't go anywhere near that. Your family doesn't go anywhere near with these hardcore reservations either. Don't virtue signal. You've been doing a lot of that so far.
Oh, my God.
You're virtue signaling.
Hey, listen.
You're virtue
I
signaling.
spent a lot
I have a little reality
So
check.
I go to the reservation, and you're upset that I would go to the reservation.
No, you're not.
I didn't
You're not,
say
though.
that I was like...
You're not, though. I went to the no, you didn't. You went out to the outskirts of it, where there was a fucking concert.
Well, they own the
for
land.
you and everybody else.
They own the land.
Did you go to the hardcore part? Did you go into the internal part?
Where they live
And
and
see
stuff?
where they shop and where they go to school and all that? So did you go hang out there? No, you didn't. It's all good. But just sometimes
I
you
had-
virtue signal.
No, but I
gotta
had
calm you down a
friends
little
that
bit.
taught on the reservation.
Tons. You got tons of friends up there. I know.
No, that taught on the reservation.
It's hardcore. It's hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Where do you think the poorest part of the United States is?
what
would you say?
region are you asking? What do you
Is
ask?
the poorest?
Can you be more specific with your questioning?
What region has the poorest people in the world?
Region?
Yeah.
Southeast.
Southeast. Like Florida?
All around there.
Nope.
Southwest?
No.
The Midwest.
Close. It's
The North.
Mississippi.
That's the Southeast.
No, it's not.
That's what I was thinking of. Mississippi. All that's Southeast.
But the number one is.
They play in the Southeastern
another state.
Conference, dude.
Mississippi's the
Alabama.
poorest state. Nope. Mississippi's a poorest state. Alabama's up there. What's
Tennessee.
no?
Arkansas.
The West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Hollers are the poorest.
Yeah.
Is the poorest part.
There's only two
They have
Division I
no
schools in
money.
West
They
Virginia.
don't have any government funding,
Yeah.
and they are
Southeast.
all fucking addicted to meth and Oxycontins. And it's the poorest part is these hollers. You know what a holler is?
It's a false comment
Look it up.
that they're all addicted to Oxycontin.
Oh my God!
All of them.
There's 100 miles of these hollers. They're all.
Do you know
fucking
one of the
broke as
nicest
shit.
golf resorts in America is in West Virginia?
That's fine in the wealthy area. You go look through the hollers, dude. It is the poorest of the poor, of the uneducated. They have nothing.
Yeah, you're
in
right.
West
I've
Virginia.
seen some of those reality shows.
Yeah. See, that's how you do your research. You look at reality shows.
I've seen
That's
it.
not. Dude,
Okay,
look
but
it up.
I know
Type it in.
you're 100% right about that, but that's what I'm
Why are you
referring.
countering me?
Not at all. I said they're not. Don't make a blanket statement about everybody who lives there, though, because there's a lot of people who are addicted to drugs who live in West Virginia.
Was a lot.
Now, what I was going to say is my first answer was accurate because that's the Southeast. That's what I'm referring to.
Okay, Mississippi is very, very poor.
Very poor.
Very poor.
Probably the poorest state.
It is. It's the hardest to generate revenue in, get a job.
Yeah.
It's
But
one
they
of the
got
poorest
beautiful
states.
college campuses.
Big time college campuses. And if, like you could find you could fucking buy 400 acres there for pretty relatively cheap if you wanted to. But you're in Mississippi, you know what I mean? Like how's that town next to you? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So Mississippi is very, very
I bet you if you live where Ole Miss is, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, well, that's a big college campus, of course.
It's very
a bunch of beautiful girls down there.
Oh,
geez.
everywhere.
Right.
The grass is very green.
Yep. Listen, when I say parts of places, it's not the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you, and I know game 2 is tonight, so we don't want to get too much into it. And again, be looking on our YouTube because we might we might have game reactions.
We got to do that, Andy.
After the games.
We got
because when we have these type of conflicts, when we can't
we
react on the spot. So check out our YouTube for that.
Yeah.
But Matthew Tkachuk played less than 14 minutes the other night. And I was just kind of taken aback by that. So I just wonder if
he's up again,
ailing, or if
he was last year.
And I don't think he is. But I mean, I would imagine I'll be curious here in game 2 how they use him.
I hope he's okay,
man. If that ice time comes up a little bit.
I hope he's okay. Because I remember flying down and watching him in Florida last year against the Knights. And that was, I think, game 5 where his shoulder was so fucked up. I remember the puck coming to him on the wall. And it just blows up. Yeah, okay, fine. It's all connected, right? It blew up off his stick. I'm like, oh.
Dude, he was playing at like maybe 10%.
I know.
And that was the game before the clinching game. And then he couldn't go the next game.
He got hit by Evander Kane at center ice, like he was just trying to change, and Evander Kane came up and bam.
And
I felt Evander Kane was going to be all over him. Kind of was, kind of wasn't. Did Matthew have the puck a ton in that game? Not really. Barkov did a lot. Verhaeghe did a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Bennett did a lot.
I don't feel like
did a lot.
Kane is, and I could be wrong. Maybe he's going to have a game. I don't think he's scored since like game 6 of the second round or something.
I didn't notice him.
So I
noticed his outfit on the way in, but that's fine.
Well, he didn't wear the NHL hoodie. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's fine. Don't be like everybody else.
That's not a metrosexual because he wears.
You don't think he is? Don't we have like?
They asked him a question.
Didn't we have like 10 guys on there? Like, yeah, when we went on the road with Kaner, we'd be like, Kaner, let's go to dinner. I'm shopping at.
He'd be eating by himself.
He'd be eating by himself, shopping for himself. That's a metrosexual. When you don't go to a team event because you have to go shopping for yourself, you're a metrosexual.
Yeah.
It's all good. Doesn't mean that every person that wants to look good is a metrosexual, but when you overdo it and that's all that you're thinking about is optics, what do you look like, then you're a metrosexual. That's all good. He's a handsome son bad.
I don't know if that's a metrosexual would be like
what?
Like an interior designer or something like that, maybe.
I said interior designer. You never played with, well, you didn't, but I played with some cats, It's all about.
People are now like recognizing like Alexander Barkov, he's the best in the game. I mean, he really has been. It's like, this is why it's important for a market like Florida to be on the
it's good for hockey.
Big stage.
Yeah, it's good for hockey. But
then, you know what? It's everyone's saying that now, and then next year when everyone's playing again and the season starts, no one will talk about them. They might if they win it all for a little bit, but then nobody will talk about them. They'll just talk about Chief and Marner.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And Matthews.
Right. Yeah. Canucks.
The Canucks.
There's a documentary on the Canucks in 2011 and how crazy, yeah.
Somebody told me to watch it.
Yeah, somebody told me to watch it.
Is that out yet?
I think so, yeah. I'll watch that.
Because I will admit there's been some hockey documentaries that I've had trouble watching. Maybe
Joe Sakic,
it just didn't captivate me. The first 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm bored.
Andy,
watching this.
They keep playing these reviews of Joe Sakic. They offered him what, $15 million? I'm thinking, we live in St. Louis and we hear about all these contracts with baseball.
We had Will Smith on and we talked
like, this is that big of a deal? What else happened? He did,
but it's ESPN. They're the one putting it on.
It's totally cool.
So like they know.
But you were bored.
But my point is, and listen, hit me up, message me. My direct messages are always open. My cameos are also on sale.
Mine too.
If you want to hit my cameos, I'd love to send you a cameo. But maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance, and I need to stick through the next 10 minutes because then it gets really good.
Let's watch it.
But I tried, and it was one of those, like, I like watching a documentary sometimes when it's like 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And you're going to go out that night and you got a little hour of downtime before you got to take a shower and get ready to go.
Yep.
That's like my prime time. You're gone all day. You come home. I'm going to put something on right now. I watched the first 8-9 minutes. I was so damn bored I couldn't watch it anymore.
Sucks. And the first
you try it too?
Not yet, but I will. Because there's another documentary about the Yankees in the early 2000s and George Steinbrenner dealing with all this crazy shit. And that sounds interesting to me.
Where, like, I watched the Florida football documentary. I'm like, damn, I'm into
Hernandez.
this, man. I'm like, this is cool.
They had like 20 guys that had fucking straight felonies on
the Palace and the Malice and the Palace.
That was hardcore,
I'm
too.
like, damn, I can watch this the whole thing.
I felt bad for the Pacers.
Yeah.
I did. I felt bad for a couple of those guys. They got fucking shunned after that.
Yes.
And he's just laying on the table. What's his name? Meta World Peace. And
Ron Artest.
And Ron Artest is like, okay, fine, I calm down. Let me lay on this table. Let me take a breath, which is odd anyway to do. And some fan just throws his fucking cup of water.
Yeah.
Bam. And now, shit. And they were dominant that year. They were dominant, the Pacers.
Yeah.
And they all got fucked. And they did. And then they all kind of retired after that. Kind of just went downhill from there. Yeah. That was kind of sad.
Oh, it was.
It was.
It was a terrible.
Jermaine O'Neal and those guys.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What
And
the
he
fuck
was
happened?
cool, man.
They were throwing bombs on each other. Then the fans came on the court.
Jackson, he was like a big part of it. A lot of those guys never recovered from it. Yeah, so if anybody has any good sport documentaries.
There's a bunch, dude. I mean, nothing's going to beat.
Pass them along.
Nothing's going to beat fucking Jordan. You know, that was the coolest. I watched that.
Oh.
The Last Dance, I watched 6 times. I don't even care about basketball. Don't care about that sport.
Watched it 6 times?
I watched The Last Dance fully through 6 times.
Really?
Yes. It was fascinating.
I've never watched anything more than...
He's one of the coolest athletes ever.
I don't watch anything more than once. I mean, you don't watch it 6 times?
Kids, man.
Well, it doesn't matter if you have kids or not.
It does.
You know, watch it 6 times?
Yeah, it was...
mix in a little Tiger King in there or something.
Tiger King?
Which
I didn't
loved Tiger King.
Hated it.
Why?
Because they abuse animals, and I don't like that.
You don't
care about it.
No. Signaling. Your virtue signaling.
I am an animal freaking lover like you cannot believe. I've had animals my whole life. We've adopted animals. My parents always... I've adopted animals from girlfriends I broke up with.
Watch Blade.
Get on with yourself.
Watch Blade this weekend.
No. I got my own I got to deal with.
No. You love animals. Watch
Bring them
Blade.
over. Fine, bring them over.
You got these starving bears in your neighborhood. You got...
Yeah, I'll feed them. Fine. Bear could... Or...
Put some food.
Or... what's his name? Blay.
Bear
is my dad's doggy, who is just so...
I think they can hang out together, Bear and Blay.
But my... yeah, they can. They'll be cool. My dogs might not like Blay, but it doesn't matter. I'm not doing it. So...
Are your dogs mean to other dogs?
No, but they're protective.
What does that mean?
That means like...
Are they mean?
No, they don't know how to be
attack?
Mean. No, they don't know how to be, but they'll bark, and then until they get settled in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We adopted them, dude.
I know.
They're a mixed breed.
Let them get settled. Look at settled very, very quickly.
You know, Andy goes to the Creve Coeur Racket Club and says, "Who's got the ball? What should I do?" And they're like, "Go buy this dog," and that's why he does it. I go and find little puppies that need to be adopted that were probably tortured, and I go rescue them.
Hey, do you want to start playing pickleball?
No.
Why?
Because it's boring.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. To me, it is.
I'm thinking about getting into it.
I'm skating with the guys, dude. I'm doing enough. I'm golfing a lot now. I don't need pickleball.
You're not golfing a lot.
Yeah, dude, I've been golfing. I've been invited.
Did you go golfing this weekend? No. Have you golfed since that golf tournament that I saw you?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I have.
Since then?
Golf another one, yeah. Yep.
What other tournament?
One tournament. This one with my buddies.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
When are they letting you back at your course?
Whenever I pay the money. Jesus Christ.
Well, let's go. I'm waiting, dude.
Man.
We owe somebody golf we have to take with us.
It costs money.
Okay, let's do it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I spend good, when I'm up there, I'm fucking ordering things. Like you look at the bill and like when things were going down, we were racking up.
Yeah.
And my dad was in the spot.
You
want me to break down my
No.
Want to break down my parents' finances for you and explain to you that
they're
not wealthy. They're not wealthy. They don't have a nest egg.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say it's hard when you're 65 and over these days to not be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. And I look at people when they say that, and I get it. They're in the 80s and 90s, the stock market, you could have fucking invested so much. Not everybody does that. Mm-hmm. When you're living in your own fucking bubble and you think that everybody's a millionaire if they're 65 years old, you're out of your goddamn mind.
Why don't you...
But you had an opportunity to be. But shit goes down. Shit goes down.
Why don't
My parents are not millionaires, and Kate's parents, who do the right thing, are not millionaires. They're okay, but they're not millionaires.
Why don't you start a hockey school?
Um,
You could do a hockey school
I'm not-
for a week.
well, that's a lot
People
of
of
work.
all ages.
I don't need the money that bad to do it. If you want to do it with me, and we want
No,
to,
I would do it with
I
you.
would do that. But for me to be like, I need a hockey
No,
school
it's
now.
a
I don't
it's a fantasy.
I don't
camp.
need it,
It's a
dude.
fantasy camp.
like I.
No, you
Like
need
I'm
to,
being invited over there to make that money. Then I go over here and I do that. Then we do this.
you
we
need
do
to
that.
come to my hockey camp. Actually,
Oh, the Andy Strickland hockey camp. Like, get out of here. You need me more than I need you with that. I'll tell you that right now.
anything else hockey wise?
Not really. Okay, salary cap's going up $4 million. That's cool.
Because
Gotta
I
go
met
up
I
again,
met a
$4
lot of
million
people this past week that'll be listening for the first time.
Good. What's up, all y'all? What up? What up?
So I just I told me do talk hockey on here. So I just want to make sure that
Break down the power play.
well, it's something, yeah.
What do you want to do?
Whatever you want to break down. Anything else hockey wise?
I think they're trying to locate that chick in Edmonton that showed her boobies off.
I think she.
I
has
think
been
she's
though.
doing. Yeah, I think she's doing OnlyFans now. Like we.
Oh, she wasn't doing that before.
Fuck, there was a hot girl the other day. This is how. Listen, if you're a hot chick, you got it pretty good, because you will always get recognized, and people want to see you because of your beauty.
Mm-hmm.
There's a girl that they barely showed at the Cardinal game the other day. Barely showed for 2 seconds. It blew up. Somebody took a snapshot of her. She was heavy-chested, beautiful, and all of a sudden, porn sites, these companies are reaching out. Who is this? Who is that? Now they're offering her thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do all kinds of different things. Now you got to do OnlyFans. Maybe it's Feet Finder. I don't give a shit. But beauty, man. If you're a good-looking girl, you can make some money.
Okay, what do you think of
can make some money.
the little kid behind the coach for all these
That's
interviews?
fine. That's fine. We tweeted that out. That's cute. Did it make me laugh? No.
If you're the parents of that kid, would you just be like, "We're doing it again today, Johnny"?
Don't mind that. We saw Stevie Odd's kid fucking Maverick takes his shirt off and bags it. Like, that's funny. I don't care. You know what's weird is when that 40-year-old man, when Maurice and Emily Kaplan are doing an interview on the bench, and he's like, the 40-year-old man doing that, bumping that kid away and started waving. He's annoying. The kid's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cares.
Okay, no, that's fair. I'm asking you hockey questions.
Yeah. So that's it. 7.5 hour flight. Oh,
Is that what it is?
fuck yeah, dude.
7.5.
Yes. Especially going from Miami up there where the jet stream's coming back on you. So now you have headwind. 7 hours. I don't give a shit if you're flying a charter. Those charter flights aren't that nice anyway, just so all y'all
It's
know.
a flight.
They're saying, exactly. It looks just like a regular fucking plane. You might
A little more leg room, maybe.
your seat, you might have the double seats or whatever, but a lot of teams just have the 3-seaters anyway, all the way through. So yeah, you might have 3 seats, but they're uncomfortable as shit. 7 hours on a plane. I don't give a shit if you have a G5. It's fucking hardcore. Unless you have a bed, which you don't. But these flights aren't that nice. 7 hours, dude, it's a pain in the ass. Not to mention, if you get bumped and bruised, and you get like a fucking stinger in your leg, and it fucking boils up, and you got a big bruise,
Dude,
you might get a goddamn blood clot.
I know.
in that
Who
altitude.
we talked to about that?
I know. I told you, T-Lander, the guy I played with, man, when we're going from Vegas or L.A. to Jersey, like he got a blood clot and was like out for months.
Dude, that's
You don't
scary.
heal when you're up there. You know what I mean? Like it's like fuck. You're just like, what do I do? Oilers better win that. I know we're talking about it's going to happen tonight.
I think
but
they better win the game too.
everybody's like, the Oilers are going to smoke them now. They dominated. I'm like, I look at it like this.
And the shots like 35 to
37
18 or something.
to 17 maybe, or something like that.
Mhm.
Bobrovsky was unbelievable. But Florida did a lot of good things too, man. A lot of good things. And they capitalized when they needed to. But I look at it like this. The Oilers are going to win. No. The Panthers didn't play their best game.
Mm-hmm.
They won, and they played a shitty game.
Panthers,
They're going to fucking step it up.
you go back to the last 2 series. They don't typically, I don't believe. I know against Boston, they didn't play well in game 1. Against the Rangers, I don't think they played well in game 1.
No, they didn't. You're right.
You know?
Yep.
Sam Bennett, though, I will say this because you mentioned the hits and
Yeah.
how he's smart. See, like, there's a difference between somebody who just runs around,
Of course.
but like
He's in the mix.
what he did to Marchand, even the hit from behind on Draisaitl that he got penalized for, the little cross check. It's just like he doesn't hesitate. He's like, I'm going to see 29 or I'm going to see 97, and I'm going to let them know that I'm here every single game. And I may get penalized. You don't want to hurt your team. You can't be putting that team on the power play too often because they're going to burn you, right? You mean with the Oilers. But
I didn't like. You gotta calm down on that.
With the cross check from behind. Yeah.
It's not hurting him. You catch him with his head down and you take a penalty that way, fine. You barely give him a cross check and he falls down and you're off. And those guys wheel around for 2 minutes.
You never know if
Wait
there's
a minute.
prior injury there or something that he knows about, and that's why he's hitting him there.
Your pads there. You'll be fine. Hitting guys are different. When you little cross check and he falls, ain't gonna do nothing. But
they should be slashing his damn hand.
No shit. But my point is, okay, why we'll just kill this penalty. Okay. You got Connor, you got Draisaitl, you got Bouchard. They are wheeling around so fast.
Hyman, Nugent Hopkins.
Exactly. Now the Panthers, top guys, penalty killers are stopping and starting. The hardest thing in the world in hockey is to stop and start for fucking 2 minutes straight. Mm-hmm. That's what wears you out the most. You know what else does? Blocking shots. They're ripping. Bouchard's fucking hold the line doing this, ripping pucks. They're blocking shots left and right. I saw somebody block like 4 in a row. Like, that's wears you out. Mm-hmm. They might not score on that, but Sam Benton getting a stupid-ass cross-checking penalty, and those guys are ripping the puck for 2 minutes straight. That wears you out. Not to mention Bobrovsky's getting bumped into, getting hit in the helmet. Like, it wears you out. Stay out of the fucking box.
I feel like Bobrovsky didn't get enough credit, and he may get shelled tonight. He didn't get enough credit against the Rangers because it was the Shesterkin show, and it was all about Shesterkin. And I'm like, dude, this guy's playing pretty fucking good, too. Like, he may not be facing the same volume of shots, but he's making every save.
They didn't talk about Florida one time.
No.
I remember was watching Messier and PK, and
Florida's crushing.
And they keep talking about...
They come back and all they talk about is Shesterkin the whole time.
And then they're like, there's another team.
Yeah, it's Steve Levy said.
Steve Levy goes, there's another team.
PK, I need a little more.
Dive in a little more.
Can we dive into
Quit talking about your buddies
in the game?
Yeah.
Stop talking about the goalies. It's easy to talk. That's like a football analyst only talking about the quarterback.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I want the guy who's going to all of a sudden bust down what's going on at the first and second level.
Yeah.
And that's
what really
we talk football. If you want me to get high level football,
no one cares about it.
No, I can't.
Football.
But okay, so
Bobrovsky. But what happened?
Who really are breaking it down, and that's where TNT does a pretty good job because you have such a variety of different, not only opinions and people, but they all play different positions and they all see the game differently.
They're great.
From Gretzky to Lundqvist. Those two on the bookends just kind of make everything. And then everybody else kind of fills it in, Biz does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Ace. Hey, Kaner, it's Ace.
Ace. What? Who?
Kaner, it's Ace.
Who?
He gives his opinion.
Yeah.
So you're just getting a lot of different opinions.
Yeah.
Whereas PK's just like, Bobrovsky's stopping everything in front of him.
But what happened in front of Bobrovsky?
And then
how did it break down?
Messier maybe adds a little more nuts and bolts.
Yeah, he does.
But I just feel like you're just filling time during some of those intermissions and postgame where I feel like the breakdown's a little more thorough.
Well, how about you explain why they got 5 breakaways? Edmonton. I know Bobrovsky made saves.
Right.
Don't go to his glove. Fine. But what happened? Why did they have 5 breakaways? That's unusual.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers let up literally 4 or 5 legit clear-cut. Break that down.
Right.
Why did that happen? We know he made the save.
Mm-hmm.
What led up to that? Yeah. That's what I want to know. Although you rewind and you're like, this guy did that, I want you to tell me, though.
And in slow motion and highlight guys.
This is where he should have been.
Yes.
We know Bobrovsky made that save. He's unbelievable.
Let's go.
The first shift of the game, Bobrovsky comes out. He's got the puck. He duffed it. It goes right to Hyman. Then he falls on his head. Then he gets up, and Hyman hits him right in the face with the puck.
Because if it was Monday Night Football, they wouldn't, just given this passive analysis. So okay, we're through the segment. Let's take a break and come back.
So you're watching with Ty.
The same thing.
You're watching with Ty.
Mm-hmm.
And then the PK's like, Bobrovsky made the save. Ty knows that.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Who screwed up? Guy in a neutral zone? The D-man did this, that. That's what I want to know.
Me too.
That's what Ty needs to know.
I want them to teach.
Exactly.
Get to the drawing board.
Teach my son.
Teach us.
What happened?
Show me something that I missed.
There it is. Why is there 4 breakaways? That's unheard of.
Right.
4 breakaways? No.
Show me something.
Show me. Why did that go down?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And I'm not chirping those guys do a damn good job.
And it's easier said than done, man.
Easy,
You're on live television. It's not.
I like them. I love Matt. I like Subban, dude. I do. I like Levy.
Well, no, Subban, I was really turning the corner with him.
Yeah.
And because at first I wasn't crazy about it.
Talking about his hog and shit.
And then I was like, I thought he was getting better. I thought the entire show was getting better.
Yeah.
I was almost like, hey, less is more. It was just easier to digest, fewer bodies, fewer opinions. It was just an easier watch. But then now I started to shift towards what they were saying, and now it's leaving me with some emptiness. I'm really not saying anything.
Well, Gretzky was getting praised for, and he's up in Canada, so all the U.S. viewers aren't listening to what Gretzky's saying, because all the Canadian guys up there.
So he's on the Canadian set?
That's got it. Yeah, he's with Bieksa and those guys, Hockey Night in Canada.
Really good for
and he's breaking down shit. He's pumping everybody's. He's just the sweetest, coolest.
And you got the Oilers.
I love him. Yeah, exactly. So you guys get Gretzky, but like, you should probably have Gretzky talk out here too to come to build the game up a little bit. I don't know. You already have the viewership. We need Gretzky talking down here to talk to these Americans that are just getting maybe in Florida.
Why don't they add a current coach? Why doesn't John Cooper join ESPN? You know what I'm saying? Why doesn't like Mike Sullivan, who can speak at the highest level with the Boston Bruins, put him on the set? Bring in a superstar player.
That knows
bring
how to
bring in Crosby and Ovi. Like, be smart, man. Think outside the box on that.
Well, you got it up in Canada. You got it great. Bring in Crosby here.
You know, it's like
somehow.
It's like the NCAA football. When you get to the national championship, who's on the set for the championship game? Nick Saban.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're bringing these guys in.
You're right.
It's the Stanley Cup final. ESPN. Let's bring in some big
heavy
dogs.
Yep.
To assist what you have there
and
enhance your product.
I agree with you.
Hey, what do you think of all this that's going down with like Pat McAfee and like
with Caitlin
Clark and all that?
He was actually pumping her tires up.
Was ESPN? Some people think that he's going to be off ESPN within the next year.
Then do it. Then kick him off. He's in Barkley territory, dude. Go ahead, fire Pat McAfee. Go ahead. You know what he's going to do? He's going to re-sign somewhere else for fucking $60 million. Get out of here. He pumping Caitlin Clark's tires up, and he just called her a white bitch. But that was more of a compliment.
And he lives in the same city where she plays.
They know each other, dude. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. You know what's ridiculous? Caitlin Clark not making Team USA.
Oh my
Are they that stupid? Are they that stupid?
They are so stupid.
They are so dumb. No one gives a fuck about your product. No one cares. No one cares about Angel Reese.
I love watching.
No one cares about Cameron Brink. No one gives a fuck about anybody in that league except for one person, and it's Caitlin Clark. She's the only one.
Why would USA Basketball not like her?
I don't know, because they have a six-headed monster. You see the women that picked, they don't like her. They don't want her attention. The old guard's like, well, if she's sitting out, it's going to cause a distraction. Get the fuck out of here.
Every other
you guys are embarrassing.
At her level.
Your product is terrible. It's terrible. The only time you have any sort of eyes is because of this girl. Put her on the damn team. Just like Christian Laettner, who dominated fucking, at Duke, and he went on with fucking Jordan and Barkley and those guys. Fine.
And they left Shaq off.
And they didn't need him. They left, what's his name from Pistons. Yeah. But like, this girl is literally the face of everything you have. And you leave her off not wearing the USA jersey, you're out of your fucking mind. And you're losing so much money and viewership because of it. It makes no business sense at all. None.
You know how many jerseys you'd sell, USA jerseys?
Fucking, you would be able to actually break even. You might be able to break even with that company, that WNBA. Like, get out of here.
It's not WNBA. You got to stop saying that.
Listen, it helps the WNBA.
It's USA basketball.
It's women's basketball, okay? It's women's basketball. If she's there, people are paying attention to women's basketball. And what are they going to say? Oh, who do they play for? Well, they play for these WNBA teams. Get out of here, dude. It all coexists.
How could the commissioner of the WNBA not have any influence? Like, you don't think Adam Silver from the NBA, when USA Basketball...
They're like, we're subsidizing you guys?
Yeah.
We need help, too.
Although they don't. Like, hey, you need to put Steph Curry on that, or whatever, when he was younger. Yeah, I'm just saying.
And the men's, it doesn't matter. Like, you got the big boys anyway. You have nobody.
And half of them
you have 42-year-old women. You have 42-year-old women on that team.
A lot of men turn down they won't turn down the Olympics as much as
I don't get it. But there's something weird to it, dude. There's something odd.
No, it's
odd.
It's just like
there's something
they
deeper.
Can't get out of their own way.
There's something deeper.
They can't get out of their own way. They finally have something.
They are,
and she's not like taking the league by storm.
She's doing pretty good.
She is for a rookie. Oh yeah.
Listen. Everywhere she goes, it's sold out everywhere.
They play it like NBA arenas.
Angel Reese thinks that she's just like her. Angel Reese had her homecoming at home for whatever the fuck team she plays for. They had 10,000 people there. When they played, Caitlin Clark, it was fucking sold out.
Do you know that they're moving her games to like NBA arenas in some places?
They should.
And they're selling selling it out
because of her.
Yes,
that's it. And she's not wearing the USA. Wow, whoa. There's something more to it.
she
It's so
did-
odd.
The camp was held during the women's Final Four, so she couldn't go to the camp. But they have 41-year-old Diana Taurasi.
They have a girl on their team that hasn't played in like 6 months who's been banged. Just whatever. It's a joke.
She's been what?
She's been banged. Like, just like, it just doesn't matter.
What happened to her?
Got banged up and was hurt for 6 months, and she still made the team over. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
They're stupid. And there's something more to it. There's something more to it. And it's really weird. So that's why I don't feel sorry for
doesn't
them.
she just
That's why
quit the
I look at the WNBA. I'm like, you guys all suck.
Why doesn't she just quit the WNBA and say, you know what, I'm just gonna do endorsements?
And I watched it the other day. They're tripping and falling everywhere.
She should just quit the WNBA, just do commercials and go play over in Spain or something.
No. Be the badass, dude. They're all against you. Like, no. I'm going to take over and I'm going to own all you motherfuckers.
I loved her answer when she finally came out and spoke
You're right.
about what that girl, who...
Yep, she's like, hey.
And she was like, hey, it's basketball.
How about that girl, too? They all get off the bus the other day, and they're like, we got harassed. We got harassed.
Who did?
And they're tweeting it out. Angel Reese and those girls are like, she got harassed. And you see the video, and it's a guy like, hey, have you talked to Caitlin Clark? And their security's like, get out of her face.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, come on, man. Pay attention to some things.
I've been...
And so this guy's just like, hey, have you talked to Caitlin Clark? Ma'am, have you talked? And the guy's like, get out of her face. He's like, I'm just asking her a question. Finally, you get attention for once. And their security guard's like pushing this guy out of the way. All he's doing is asking that chick who pushed over Caitlin Clark, have you talked to her? So that's the video. But then they come back out and they're like, they're tweeting, we were harassed. Like, fuck you. But then they're like, he said racist things. And like, well, where's the video of that? Because we just saw the video of him being polite and asking you a legit question.
They said he
said racist things. Oh yeah, I believe that.
Well, we gotta see. We gotta see what was said. I gotta go back and check that video out.
I believe that.
Because
they're a joke, dude. And I don't. And that's why I'm just like, Cameron Brink comes out. She's like, I am so privileged because I'm white. I have more privilege than anybody.
She said that? No, she did. She did say that.
Yeah.
I thought you loved her.
I did until now. Well, I don't want to date a girl that wants me to call her for a different fucking pronoun. She's like, I want to tell.
What's her pronoun?
Fuck, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Well, Jimmy Butler's trying to hit that anyway.
He is?
And why don't you read things once in a while?
What do you watch?
God,
you
just everywhere.
Cam's all over the tablet.
I don't have kids.
He's all.
And I do a 3-hour radio show where I need to know all this shit. And I look up stuff.
I was a little busy this past weekend.
Yeah, you're watching a kid play.
Yeah. Out of town though.
Yeah. You never look up anything else besides hockey stuff anyway. And if you do, you talk about it for 30 minutes.
It's the Stanley Cup final, so we're just my focus is on.
So is mine. Do you know more about the Stanley Cup final than me? You want to do like a trivia
I will
question?
tonight after.
And then I know all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to do like a
I will after tonight. Well, you do a radio show too. They all bring this stuff up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
They give to me. I produce everything. I don't have a producer. I produce and host my show for 3 hours every fucking morning.
Oh my gosh. All right, listen, Jason Zucker.
Great guy.
Awesome conversation.
Good call on that. You did good on that.
We like talking to players who we haven't talked to a whole lot, but they've been around the game for a little bit, those guys are always interesting. He's been around, man. He's played with some great players. He's played in shitty situations like Arizona.
Yeah.
He's been in Nashville.
We asked about that,
It's like the worst situation of all time.
Fucking horrible.
Could you imagine? I think Ty had more fans at his games this weekend.
I liked when they were in Arizona and they were playing at that dump, which is not a dump for college kids, but Mullet Arena compared to being a professional athlete, being a pro NHLer, that's a fucking dump.
Get to play soccer outside.
Remember, Jason's like, we had to walk like a half a mile just to get get
to the ice.
And then your only place to train or to warm up is outside, and sometimes it rains.
If it's raining, there's nowhere to go.
Exactly.
It'd be like on the concourse.
Bush League. That's Bush League. And I remember when this was going down, you had guys in the media and players and big-time guys like, this is great.
This is going to be incredible atmosphere.
Look, this is such a great atmosphere. These guys love it.
Oh, my God.
Shut the fuck up. You're the most embarrassing organization in all 4 sports. You're the most embarrassing organization.
Well, they're out there.
You think these guys fucking cared? That was a joke. It's embarrassing.
I can't believe the league actually allowed that, to be honest.
Well, they're gone.
No, but I
like,
can't
just, it was
believe
so funny. Like
the league allowed
these guys like that.
the Coyotes to play in that building.
They like playing in such an intimate atmosphere.
Cap friendly is
Get
gone,
outta
by the
here.
way. Remember, although it's going to be there through the end of the final.
Yeah, I don't know.
You ever go to that website?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cap friendly. Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody has.
I think he made a lot of money on that site.
Well,
Like
bought it.
selling it.
Well, yeah.
How much?
What would that cost?
To a team.
I don't know. That's a good question. 20 million?
10 mil?
Yeah, I don't know.
20 million?
Yeah, something like
He's
that.
really working for some other teams. The guy had messaged me who ran the site. I've corresponded with him dozens and dozens and dozens of times over the years.
Yeah.
On private messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not saying anything now, but must be under a gag order. I hope he made $25 million on it. I don't know if he did, but
Well, I don't know. Okay, so, well, yeah, but like you paid $25 million. Like,
maybe they're
what do you
paying
get-
him. Maybe they're paying him 1.5 just to run it.
What are you getting out of that? I'm just curious. I am curious to see, man. No doubt.
Maybe our numbers are way inflated. We'll have to find out. We'll
Yeah.
find out eventually. Jason Zucker on this edition of the Chemistry
yeah.
Podcast. As always, brought to you by First Form and firstform.com. Use our link, firstform.com/Chemistry, and get all your favorite products,
Right here,
including
baby.
mine, baby.
The energy screaming freedom right there.
The fruits and
Oh,
greens,
yeah.
the energy drinks. You can get the protein powder, which is
Yep.
incredible. I brought a bunch. I was handing out the flavored water packets to all the boys.
Yeah,
this
let them
weekend.
sip that, dude, before games and
Yes.
after games and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah, or before bed.
And put it in your water bottle and shake it up,
Morning.
man.
Yep.
Strawberry water, great electrolytes, man. So there's so much stuff. They've got a lot of stuff for the kids, by the way. They've got protein powder for kids,
Yep.
Vitamins for kids, man.
Yep.
Apparel now for kids. My kid's rocking the hoodie and whatnot.
Yeah,
So they've got so much stuff going on there. I love the fruits and greens. I love the level 1 protein. I love the multivitamins,
I like the bee sticks.
the microfactor,
Yeah.
the bars, the clothing, everything.
You know what I like most?
Nothing like First Form, baby.
You know what I like most? I like their way of life.
Yes.
I like their mindset.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The discipline.
I fucking like it. Discipline, like, love United States, work hard, train hard, do your thing. Nothing could stop you. It's a good mindset to have. It's not just apparel. It's not just protein.
No.
It's a mindset, and I love it.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, baby.
It's a culture.
Damn right it is. Damn good one,
I was
too.
telling people, all these cool ass dudes. By the way, these families, man, can I just say they just welcome tie-in, dude. The hockey community's amazing.
They're great.
dude.
Yep. I remember going through
The
that.
hockey
Everybody was
community. Yeah, he didn't know a single person. So
He needs to get used to doing that.
we check into the hotel. He sees these kids out playing in the back of the hotel, like throwing the football around in this grassy area. Just runs right out there.
That's good.
Instantly just made friends with
Yeah,
these kids, man.
that's good.
The parents were great. That was a great
He's
experience.
got you and Lori's. He's got your, what's the word? This like you guys are both very outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you guys go to parties, like I don't need to like hold Andy's hand. Lori's fucking talking to everybody. Like he's outgoing
Yeah.
like you. That's
Those are
good.
the people you want to hang out with. You
Yeah,
don't want to be
I
like, okay, come with me here.
Like when we go places, I'll disappear for like
This
20
is Judy and Sam, and they're just like,
What do we do? What do we do? Yeah. Ty's not like that. He's got your genes when it comes to being outgoing and social. That's good. That's going to help him in life too. Being social like that, I think that helps.
yeah.
Like he can just go, and at that age, it's tough to walk outside with a bunch of kids your age that don't know you, and you try to mingle at that age, because kids could be dicks here and there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
mean, and for him to have the balls to do that, that's a good sign.
Yeah, man.
So little things like that. He's outgoing. That's good. He can make friends easily. It's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
But when he plays against them, he's got to put them fucking downtown Chinatown.
What's that?
Downtown Chinatown. He ain't your friends when you're playing, though.
Hey,
You need to go hard on them, dude.
hell no.
Because there's some kids, man, that get too caught up in the friend stuff, and you're competitive with each other,
Yes.
and they're like, oh, you could have... No. You can still, dude, you can still be friends with a guy and fucking want to beat him,
Yeah.
and be physical against him.
Mm-hmm.
He's still your friend, but it's you. You win that battle.
Yeah.
It's not your buddy's puck, it's yours.
Right.
You guys aren't friends right now.
Right.
You will be afterwards.
Okay. I like that. Firstform.com/Camistrick. Again, use our link. And we love everything First Form's doing. Hat launch, baby.
That's the best right there, man.
Does it get any
Okay.
better than hat
They're
launch?
damn good, dude. I get so many people texting me about the Yoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Well, I'm wearing the shirt right
Kate wore it yesterday. She wore her own
now.
little...
The shirt?
No, she wore the hat with these glasses that matched it,
Yeah.
too. Pretty cool.
What do you tell people when they ask you about that?
They ask me all the time. I'm going to wear it to a comedy. Ariel Spears is coming. Aries Spears, who's this fucking...
Ari?
I think it's Aries. Aries Spears.
Mm. Where's that at?
It's at I guess the Funny Bone.
I might go with you.
Yeah.
I like comedy shows.
And then I'm gonna wear my Yoink hat, and I know he's gonna call me out on it. And I was like, hat launch, baby.
Yeah, hat launch.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what's that mean? I'm like, I don't know. But
I got an email from someone in Utah who ordered hat launch.
Good.
For all his
they know what's up,
customers, dude.
Yeah, you guys, anywhere you're at, you can wear a hat launch.
It's the #1 source in America for customized hats. Dude, you can put anything you want on your hat.
Anything
that represents you or your business.
Turnaround's quick, man. They'll get it to you.
Racket Club may want new hats.
Yeah, they'll have Hillary.
They will not.
They'll have Biden 24 on.
Cam, don't get political, man.
I'm not.
What you just did.
No, not that much.
Yeah, you did.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Fine, they'll have Trump.
People won't like that.
I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to get political.
And you're putting blankets on everybody.
Everybody.
You put blankets on the reservation. You put blankets on West Virginia. You put blankets on Racket Club. You're putting blankets on Mississippi.
Why don't you do your
You're putting blankets on Texas.
Southern twang?
You're putting a lot of blankets on people, dude.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty much right on
Brown recluse.
Exactly. Go to those reservations up in Canada, Andy. I hung out with it. No, you're in a concert. Get out of here, dude. It's not good. It's bad. You know,
Hat launch and hatlaunch.com, man. Say hi to Danny.
Danny, what up, baby? Good hanging with you there today,
Jordan.
man. Jordan, what's up? Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The crew.
We need to come hang out with you guys, and we need to go golfing, too. We need to go golfing as well. But you guys got damn good stuff going on.
What does this represent to you?
My drinking.
Oh, it does? That's not what it represents. It's like living life.
We were doing that since day one.
Okay, let me just forget that I even asked you that.
What were you asked? What yoink
means living life, having fun, enjoying, living to the fullest.
Yeah, but it's me opening it.
Positive, treating everyone, treating everyone with respect.
It's people watching and listening.
Everybody.
No. Okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Coexist. Andy has another coexist bumper sticker too. But yoink is me opening the beer and saying yoink. And I think the good old folk out there appreciate that because they understand the situation. They all,
Let's advance the meaning a little bit.
No, it's simple.
Advance
it's a simple meaning.
Little bit.
If I said, like treat people the way you should, that's a bit bigger meaning. Yoink is fucking drinking and having a good time.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Bellman and Bellman.com at Bellman.
Swinging dicks, none of them. None.
You get none.
No swinging dicks.
But you get sushi and flavored water, baby. They'll give you that and they'll hook you up.
Find it. Whatever. But the point is, they got all kinds of stuff going on out there. Troy, Missouri, they got a lot. I just like big trucks, man. I'm a big truck kind of dude.
Okay, so
I'm a big truck.
I'm going to name everything they have. You tell me what you want.
All right, go ahead.
Buick.
I'll take a Buick SUV.
The Enclave?
Yeah, they're not bad at all. They drive nice.
They have third rows and they're very
drive damn nice.
GMC.
Oh, a Denali. The 2500 truck. 4-door. You're damn right.
Chrysler.
Chrysler, Dodge.
No, Chrysler.
Chrysler. I don't know too much about Chrysler.
They got the Chrysler 300. They got the minivans. If you're a family, dude, they got the best.
I don't fuck with that.
No, the Pacifica is one of the nicest minivans you can get, dude.
And they're
you are a family.
Good call on that, Andy. You're right. And I don't mean to be sarcastic on that at all, because you're right. Because a lot of people, you get an SUV, man, they're $110,000. Like the minivans are cheaper, and they do the same thing, and they last a long time. So you're right.
With all the technology.
Yeah, and they got TVs in their stuff, and there's plenty of room to put the hockey bag and the kids in there. So if you need to get a minivan, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chrysler minivan, you're damn right.
Dodge.
I want the fatty, dude. I do. I will get a diesel. I want a diesel.
A diesel? Hey, you don't need all that.
Yeah, I'll get one.
All right. Jeep.
I've driven a lot of Jeeps.
The Wagoneer is pretty sick.
Oh, actually, the Wagoneer might be my favorite SUV.
Oh, I love the Wagoneer.
It's so
I've rented one a couple times.
The Grand Wagoneer.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It's very nice.
Yep. But the Jeep, it's not my jam. But if I was a kid in high school, you're damn right. If I wanted an extra toy to kind of cruise around with the top off, hell yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not mine, but a lot of people have them.
Ram.
And don't put a rubber ducky on my Jeep either. Don't touch my fucking car.
Oh, God.
I'm such a goofy fucking...
Ram.
That is another thing with a Jeep. Like, you have all these young girls waving to you. You're like, God, wow, she's waving. No, she's waving at your Jeep.
No, that's what... they wave at the Jeep. It's a Jeep wave.
That is totally a thing, just so you know.
Oh, it's
And if
100%.
people put rubber duckies on your Jeep, don't touch my car.
What does that mean? Okay. Because they have a cheap way. They honk at each other. Ram.
I just told you.
No, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Yeah. I want the big fatty diesel.
Another one. Okay.
Yeah. I used to like those Durangos back
Say hi to Danny, boy.
Danny, what up, baby?
And Dale.
Dale, get your fucking shit together. Okay?
Kenny.
Kitty, get Dale's shit together. We love you guys, man.
Get back to work.
Get back to goddamn work.
Is that how they talk back where you're from?
Yeah, some do. Yeah, they do. I just missed that.
Yes.
Thank God.
Illinois Recovery Center camp.
Man, oh man, Swansea, Illinois. Right there, baby. Right there. Chrissy Pondoff, Eric Conley. Doing a damn good job, man. A lot of people are affected by addiction. A ton of people. Could be anything. Could be Oxycontin. Could be alcohol. Could be Adderall. Could be fucking anything.
Cam says everyone in West Virginia is on Oxycontin.
I didn't say everyone.
You did.
In the hollers, 130-mile stretch, you fucking A right they are.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The whole 130 miles.
Go drive through that holler. And
What's
look
a
around.
holler?
Holler is a little community that's in between two hillsides that cut through where there's
crystal meth going on there?
big time. Yeah. Crystal meth's out by me. Crystal meth, that might be the crystal meth capital of the world, is out where I live.
Okay.
Not good. And you can make it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why you never notice, like, you go into a Walgreens and you buy a bunch of Sudafed, they'll be like, what are you doing with this?
Yeah.
Because you could crush that up and make meth out of Sudafed.
Got it. Illinois Recovery Center.
Yep.
Check it out. IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Just call them up. Listen, I know the toughest thing to do is like to figure out the insurance. They'll take care of all that.
They'll take care of all that.
Just if you have a problem, if somebody in your family has, Chrissy and Eric will take care of it.
bed waiting.
Just call them up. Those are bed waiting for you. They will get you right.
Yeah.
They will get you
And
right.
if you want to talk to somebody because there's somebody you know that needs help, but you can't seem to figure it out to get them to go.
It's tough to do.
Listen, you can talk to Chrissy and Eric about that too.
Yep.
So,
or you're a female and you're worried about going in there with you think it's heavily dominated by men, which is kind of uncomfortable.
ask the question.
It's just kind of uncomfortable. If you're a female, there's a lot of females in there, dude.
But they're not mixed in together.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, that's how it works.
They're not sleeping in the same bed.
Right.
But they're in the same group of people. Yes, absolutely.
All right, IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Jason Zucker, you ready for this?
Great guy, man. Yeah,
All
let's go.
Some people call him Zucker, but I've heard interviews with him. He says it's Zucker. So, like, I didn't really ask him for an exact pronunciation, but all you that have been saying Zucker are wrong. It's Zucker. So here comes Jason Zucker.
Glad you got that out.
The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. Are you on the hills in Vegas?
Yeah.
No, I'm in Minnesota.
Oh.
Yeah, I spend summers in Minnesota. So I'm a little bit. I'm out by towards Edina, but closer to the city a little bit.
Edina. That's where all the players come from. Like a lot of them, right? Like Edina High School.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge spot. I know that Josh Harding is coaching there right now. Kurt Giles is the head coach.
Kurt Giles.
Yeah, you remember that name?
Yeah,
dude. Little D-man
Kurt
who would
Giles.
like hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the
murder
day.
people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's
He's
awesome,
a good
man.
dude.
Are your kids playing? Are they too
They
young?
started, yeah. Yeah, they're playing, but they're low key. They're not they're not hardcore into it, which is kind of nice for me. I don't have to shuffle them around too much. Hendricks played I think he had 2 days a week last year in Arizona, and then my daughter was like 1 day a week, so it was perfect.
What are his stats? Come on now.
What's his plus minus?
What's his plus minus?
Minus 100.
If you're a real hockey dad, you'd be telling me.
Let me tell you.
I get those. Oh, he had 9 goals and 9 assists. He's 5.
He's the best player on the team.
Yeah. I'm really far from that hockey dad. I'm like, I do not care. I didn't even ask him to play. He came, I don't know. I never wanted to be, especially here in Minnesota. You see it so much. There's so many of these hockey dads that are out here that are absolutely insane. And, just anybody that played the game, obviously is typically the opposite. So I told myself, I'm like, I'm not going to do that to the kids. And so Hendricks came to me at like 5 years old. He's like, Dad, I want to play hockey. I'm like,
of course,
all right, man, let's go.
Of course,
Let's
he's
go.
watching.
So I grab some gear, and that was it. Like, that was the first time he was ever on skates. It wasn't, I'd bring him out there and do the, backbreaker at like the team parties, and that was it.
Does he like watching you play, man? Is he obsessed with that?
Yeah. Loves that part of it. Loves that part of it. Yeah,
he's
all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, he came to me last night. He's like, "Hey, Dad, the Oilers are playing, in the Stanley Cup final now. They beat Dallas, and we watched the game the other night." Like, he's all into it. He loves it.
Yeah. Hey, we just hit record and we just go. Is he like, hey, they've got that Corey Perry on the team who laid that dirty hit on you?
Oh, I saw that.
We're not going for Edmonton in the Zucker household, just so everyone knows.
I'm surprised you guys remember that. That was a long time ago.
Well, we look all your stuff up, dude. We creeped you out all day.
Were you okay from that? Like, because the video kind of cut off. At least I didn't watch it. Like, I'm doing my world-class research.
Yeah,
the video's like over 3 minutes. I got to move on to the next video, Jason. I got to get as much information.
You got a lot out there.
Did you get up, or did the stretcher come out?
No, I got up, but I was out. Like, I was out, and they, I think I woke back up by the time they got out there. And as you guys know, I mean, I think the docs usually tell you when you go out, you typically come back quicker. So I only ended up missing. I think his suspension was longer than the games I missed.
4 games.
I think he got suspended. Yeah, I might have been about the same then. I think I missed like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But yeah, it was just one of those hits that just got me pretty good. I've had a couple of those, unfortunately.
Well, it helps when you don't know he's coming. Okay, I mean, it probably helps knock you out. Hey, but is that true? I didn't know that, and I should have probably known that. That when you get knocked out, you actually recover faster.
Well, and I don't think there's like a true science behind that, but I think the docs, they've told me through I think I've had 3, maybe 4. My first one was in the AHL, and I toe picked as a D-man was coming to hit me behind the net, and I got a knee to the side of the head off the boards, like one of those. And I was fine. Like, I got up, I didn't even stay on the ice. I just kept playing, got back to the bench and started feeling, a little bit off. Like everyone says, just felt a little weird, just kept playing. Oddly enough, I ended up like getting an assist on a play. Don't even remember it to this day. Have no clue. And I got back to the bench. Like after that, the guys told me that everyone went through the line. I just changed. I just like got right off, and I don't remember that at all. And I was like, all right, something's really not right. And I was out like 3.5 weeks for that one.
Oh man.
And it was kind of a nothing hit. Then the Corey Perry one, I was like, man, I'm going to be out forever because I was knocked out. And they're like, no, typically it's this, it's a little bit quicker. Then I got knocked out again by Michael Roosevelt in the outdoor game in Minnesota.
Saw that
and too. Yeah. And so that one I was out again. And I missed like 2 weeks with that one. So those ones were actually a lot quicker than the first one overall. So they kind of said that sometimes it's just a reset, just kind of flip the switch and you're back.
So did you, like, at the worst part of the concussions, like, were you spinning at home? Was the lights really bright? You're like, did you go through all that kind of stuff?
The first one I did for sure. The second one, the outdoor game one I remember being worse, but I think part of that was being outside in the stadium lights being on. Oh, man. Because I had to get in like one of the, like, the carts they bring out on the football fields. Like I got on one of those and like drove to the locker room and that whole deal. So I think I remember that one being worse than the Perry hit.
Did you give like the thumbs up to the crowd, like a football player?
Yeah. So funny story about that. So they get out there and they obviously kind of knew that I was out. I remember Ryan, the linesman, him and I, we had a great relationship. This was kind of part of that start of it. I get knocked out, and Ryan, I remember, like, as I woke up, all I saw was Ryan, the linesman. And I'm like, he's like, hey, trainers are coming. Like, so I came back into it like pretty quick. And trainer gets out there, Donnie Fuller, and he starts asking me all these questions. I'm sitting on the ice at this point, and he's asking me questions. What day of the week? What's the score of the game? Score of the game. Where are we playing? Kind of trick questions a little bit because it's an outdoor game. I aced every one of them. And I'm like, I'm going to get past this. I'm fine. It's just kind of, whatever. And I stand up and he goes, hey, do you remember the colors I told you? And I looked at him like, fuck, I don't remember the colors. And he's like, yeah, never said any colors.
I was going to say, yeah.
That would have got me too, though.
Shit. And so that was their like, yeah, we're gonna go check you out.
Well,
whatever.
you shouldn't have failed that one because he's trying to play with your mind
He
there.
tricked
Like,
you.
you didn't get it wrong.
Yeah.
You're thinking
didn't
he
get it
said
wrong.
colors. I would have been like,
Yeah.
wait, man,
What
how did I miss
colors?
that? I don't know.
Red, white, and blue.
Hey, where was
Yeah,
that? Where
yeah.
was that stadium game? Was that where the?
TCF Bank, where the Gophers play.
Oh,
But that
Yeah.
hit though, did he get dinged for that because did he catch you in the chin or did he catch you right in the sternum?
Yeah, it was
The
chin.
shoulder,
It just
right in the
it was
head.
I was out. But you know, I
wasn't
felt
it?
bad on that one. Honestly, I don't know if I really felt like he should have been suspended because the puck, like it was one of those plays that the puck was passed to me and it like hit my skate or something and went in the air. So I don't think he ever saw it. I think he thought maybe I was going to get it, and I don't know. It's tough when you watch a video, of course.
Yeah.
But that one I was a little bit skeptical. I think he got 2 games for that one.
Did they call and apologize and say, "Are you okay?" Like, did Corey Perry send you anything?
No, Corey Perry did not. Michael Roosevelt did send me a text. He
Did
did
he?
text me about it. Yeah.
That was
Sometimes
nice.
you do that, Andy.
That was
I
nice.
did that to people.
I
Yeah.
like the fact that he did that.
Yeah.
Man, you bounced around a little bit, you know, like, but you're from
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah, man.
How'd that whole thing come about? Were your friends in school like, what? You play hockey?
Hockey.
You want to go skateboard?
Yeah.
Nobody
Wanna
knew
gamble?
what hockey was.
You want to gamble?
Yeah, so I was kind of all over the place. Oddly enough, we can get back into it later, but my dad builds casinos in Vegas. So like that was kind of our world. You know, a little bit, everyone there is kind of in the casino business, just what you do.
Yeah.
So I grew up playing roller hockey. I started playing because my older brother, Evan, he got my brother Adam into it, and then Adam got, you know, me into it. And so it was just 3 older brothers, you know, the 3 of us just all started playing. You know, there was not a whole lot of hockey there. It just, roller hockey was kind of the fad at the time, though. I mean, everybody was playing, all the California kids. St. Louis was big.
Yeah.
You know, Florida, we had nationals every year in Florida and Fort Lauderdale. You know, like it was big. It was big time. Everybody played. You know, you look through the names of, you know, I remember guys that I played against were like Emerson Edom and Bo Bennett, and you know, that whole crew from California was like the big time crew. My brother Evan played with you know, guys like Rhett Rockshani. You know, he played against Pat Maroon. I mean, that was my older brother Evan. And so, you know, there was a lot of Bobby Ryan was a big roller guy too, out of California. And so, you know, there was
tight with
there
the
was just a
Maroon
lot of
brothers.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, so
Yeah,
you're
and so
no, go ahead, man. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that was just kind of how we got started, and then kind of just transitioned to ice a little bit later on.
Yeah, no, that's St. Louis, same thing, man. But you said your dad built casinos. Like, what does that mean exactly? And if he did help build a casino, can you walk in that mug and be like, "What's up, baby? Front me this. Let's go."
You're
I
like,
got
hey, listen,
people in town.
follow me to the secret room. Did he build the Bellagio?
Yeah, like, what do you mean by
which
that?
ones did he build? New York.
Yeah, no, Venetian. The Venetian was actually one that he was like hammer and nails, like helped build. So the big, you know, difference between like building and walking in there like you own it is he doesn't actually own it. He builds it for other people that own them.
Yeah.
But so he works for a casino company called Station Casinos out there. And he's their vice president of construction. So he's been with them now like 25 years. And they're a locals casino. They don't have any on the strip. They're all, you know, where the Knights practice facility is. Red Rock Resort and Casino is right next door. And that's kind of their flagship hotel. But he does a ton of work for them, you know, and that's his gig. But when he first started in construction out in Vegas, he was helping build the Venetian at the time. So it's been, you know, that was just kind of, he's still into it. So it's got its perks, right? I mean, we get, he treats us well when we go out there. When I go out to Vegas to see family now, I stay at Red Rock Hotel, and he kind of hooks me up with, you know, the GM there is a good friend and become a fan of mine. So I bring him a jersey, and he gives me some good perks. So it works out well.
Are you a gambler?
You know, not much. I love roulette. You know, when I was young, my dad used to just, he'd put it in our head all the time. If you're going to gamble, you might as well just put it in my pocket. It's coming there anyway, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. And so I never gambled. And then after I turned pro, I'd play a little bit. And, you know, it's funny because all the guys here, I'm from Vegas, and I don't play cards on the plane. When we go to Vegas, I go see family. I don't go gamble with the guys. You know, it's very different. But when I do, I like to play roulette.
Worse odds, by the way.
But like, listen, we've had we've had several like Golden Knight players on with us and stuff, like, because they don't even go down to the strip that much. I know, like, before, like,
No.
the Blues head out to it's always like a event, for
Yeah.
the whole traveling party. We're going to Vegas, time do we get in type thing.
Yeah.
But, like, for you, are you like where all the players live? Like, did you grow up around that area? Like, there's a whole nother world to
Yeah.
Vegas that people don't really know about. Is it
Yeah.
Summerlin? Is that what it's called?
Summerlin, exactly. So that's where I grew up. And, when I grew up there, where the Knights facility is maybe another half mile down the street, like going east towards the strip, was dirt. There was that road where I lived. There was a little high school there called Faith Lutheran. And then west of that was dirt. So I used to ride my dirt bike out of my garage and just be gone, just go straight into the desert. And, we'd get chased by the BLM land, little trucks that don't want you riding your dirt bike in there. And you were just gone. And then then Red Rock was built in maybe 2008 ish, maybe 2005. And now it's just gone. It's just absolutely bananas there. It's just grown like crazy. I remember when I bought my house there after I turned pro, I was the very furthest west. Now that's like middle of where it keeps going up, west to the mountains. It just keeps growing and growing. It's crazy.
You still have a place out there in Vegas?
No, I sold it.
I feel like you'd be a good fit for the Golden Knights. Just the
I
way you
know.
play, man. I mean,
dude.
isn't your contract up right now?
It is. Yeah, it is. No,
Yeah,
it's funny that my family's all over me. And there were some rumors at the deadline that I possibly could have gone there instead of Nashville. And, it seems like ever since they came into the league, every year is like, oh, Jason's going to the Knights and that whole thing. But it hasn't happened. I honestly have never even had a conversation with them.
That's too bad, man.
and so-
They need to have a local guy on the team.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they should have. Because
In England.
how
for a bit.
many? I know, but he didn't grow up in Vegas. He played like some.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah,
in-
so
he played some
he
pro
played
hockey
for the East
there.
Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for the East Coast League team, the
Yeah.
Wranglers.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's where he met his now wife.
Yeah.
So I trained with him for a few years. Ango's a good buddy of mine.
yeah. He was
And,
great when he came on with
God,
us,
was
man.
he
He's
tough?
awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
That's right.
Great
He had
dude.
that on that.
Just a great dude.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Oh yeah, he gave that great speech and everything, man. So
Yeah,
he's the guy
Yeah.
when you hear him talk, you're like, okay, I want this guy to be a part of my
Yeah, big
organization.
time.
You know what I mean?
every time.
Yeah.
100%. You're right.
So that's interesting. Well, we got to make that happen, man. Unless you don't even want to
We'll
go
write
back
emails.
there. Although you were in Nash Vegas, that's about as closest thing as it comes to Vegas. I guess being in Nashville, that had to be cool, right? Being in
was
Nashville.
awesome, man. It was so great. Such a good city. I mean, it's been my favorite place to play, with the exception of Madison Square Garden. If I'm talking about just city, not arena,
Mhm.
just city, it's been my favorite place to play throughout my whole career. I love live music. I love being able to go grab a beer and just listen to live music. And the people you have never even heard of are some of the best musicians in the
Oh,
world.
yeah,
It's
of
absolutely
course.
insane. So for me, it was always so much fun to go do that. And just a way, like, just to unwind for an hour, on the road and what you got going. So it was always great. So going there was awesome. The fans are even better than you realize. They're so passionate. It's awesome. Like, you're walking out to the ice and all the police officers that are down there, by that lounge we have, is like, they're all giving you knucks and fist pumps, and like, they're all pumped up for you, and they know everybody by name. Like, they embrace that team
Mhm.
from, like, literally every single part of that city. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but what about Arizona? You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's such a
We're
weird.
doing the show
I'm
from
sorry.
Mullet Arena
We're
right now, by the way.
You're
This
playing
is-
in Mullet Arena. I mean, just negative story
Yeah.
after negative story after chaos, just not knowing what's going on. Like, how bizarre was that?
Honestly, it was unlike any experience I've ever been a part of. It was interesting, to say the least. The one thing I'll say is that group of guys is phenomenal. I loved every minute of it being there. A great group of guys, some unbelievable talent, and guys that don't get enough recognition. I mean, even Keller and Schmaltz,
Yeah.
but the Michellis and JJ Moser, and these guys are phenomenal young players that if they were in New York playing for the Rangers,
Oh,
it's
man.
like, okay, why isn't this guy, in the MVP, conversation? Like, that's like how good some of these guys are, and they don't get any credit for it, which is unfortunate, because they are unbelievable and just better people than they are players too. It was really fun to be a part of. But as far as like the whole aspect of Arizona and, the moving and the ownership and that, like, that was obviously, it was always a distraction, especially for some of the young guys. You'd be walking in for games and all of a sudden the tweet comes out that team's moving tomorrow.
Mhm.
And you're like, for some of the older guys, it's like, all right, it's not happening. Like, logistically, that can't happen. and just the realistic reality of that, like, no. But for some of the young guys, it's like, all right, hold on. Like, do I just have to like pack my shit and leave? Like, I don't know what the deal is. So I think there was a lot of that stuff happening, and that was unfortunate.
Man, listen, and I felt bad. You're right, Keller. We've known
Yeah.
Keller forever, man.
St. Louis,
I
yeah.
mean, going back to when he
Yeah.
was a kid. And
Yeah.
I feel bad for some of those guys because, like, you played in Minnesota, man, the state of hockey. It's a packed house every night.
Yeah.
You played in Pittsburgh, dude, with, everything going on there with Crosby and Malkin and just people worshiping that team and just how successful they've been. So
Yeah.
you've been at the top. You know what
Yeah.
that feels like. Some of those guys have never really experienced that. And they're in the NHL playing in that arena almost, I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but like the laughing stock of the league, you guys know it. Everyone's kind of looking at it like, what is going on? So I'm happy that they're out of there, to be honest with you, and they get to go to Utah, and I think it's going to be a crazy success there, man. I think they're going to have a lot of success there in Utah. So I'm happy for those players, and hopefully maybe they
Yeah.
get the recognition.
No shit.
And I know they love their house that they had. Their Keller's got a sick, set
Keep
up.
it.
He can have a sick house in Utah too,
No
though.
shit.
And hopefully
he'll be just fine. He'll
they
be
just
just fine.
oh yeah, they
Yeah.
get a better experience, man. So, but I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that. You like being at the rink with the players around the guys and everything. What was the team telling you guys? Like when the rumors would start, would the team address it with you guys, or they wouldn't say anything?
They would, yeah. I mean, they were doing their best to kind of, put out the fires when they would pop up, and they had, Stan Wilson, the head, equipment guy there, has been there, since inception, and he's heard about this since day one. Okay,
Yeah,
they're
right.
moving tomorrow, they're moving next week, it's over the summer, it's whatever, and they've never moved. So he would come in and tell us, like, guys, they're just going to keep doing this and doing this, and I think at some point it probably had to end, and that's obviously why it did. But it just makes it so hard because there really is a great hockey community there, and especially for me coming from Vegas, I didn't have an NHL team there when I was growing up. I grew up a Red Wings fan because of it. Because I love Pavel Datsyuk. Like that was just what I did. I became a bandwagon Wings fan because I loved to watch Datsyuk and Zetterberg and that whole team, and it was just for them, those young kids in a non-traditional market like Vegas, like Arizona, to have that team and to be able, whether you go to every game or whether you watch every game on TV, doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you have somebody to root for and just become a childhood fan of makes a big difference. So it's unfortunate that they had to move and do that just from a hockey growth aspect, like in that area. And again, for me, it didn't necessarily affect me growing up, but even to this day, like I don't have a football team I root for. I don't have a hockey team I root for. I don't have a baseball team I root for. Like Vegas had none of that. So for me now, I'm like, yeah, I like watching the Vikings because, I got to know a bunch of them when I was here. The Steelers, I didn't really do a ton with the Steelers, but, basketball, don't have a team. I was a Red Wings fan, and that. So it's funny how that stuff works. You just don't really. So again, back to like that with hockey in Arizona, I wish it, would have worked out because for those kids that are growing up there, it's just nice to have something to root for and to be able to grow up with.
Is it one of those things though before you signed there, because you only signed a 1-year deal, which I'm surprised you only got a 1-year deal after
Yeah.
scoring 27 goals a year before in Pittsburgh. So maybe you turned down some other offers to go there and bet on yourself for 1 year. But was it worse than you thought it would be? Were you like, okay, it can't be that bad, and then you get there, like just what was it like playing in that building? Honestly,
Yeah.
like just going from where you were
I'd
before and playing inside that building. Describe it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. So last year with Pittsburgh, going into Mullet, playing there my first time, my dad. So when I signed back in Arizona, my dad took a screenshot, sent me this picture, and he basically said, like, what was it like playing in Mullet? And I said I loved it. Like it was so much fun. It was a cool atmosphere and that whole thing, which is true. Like it is a really cool atmosphere for the fans in the sense of you're never going to be able to see an NHL game like that ever again. Like it was, being able to be right on top of the game and to be able to literally hear the players, every word that they're saying is a cool experience for the fans. As a player on the player side, I say it was an amazing experience, going into that building for one game. And then after that, it's like, okay, we kind of want to get back into our arenas, but it's the little stuff that people that like you don't realize add up. It's the walk to the ice, how far that walk is. It's the days that the warm up area is outside, phenomenal, but until it rains. Now you're in like this, different area, like when it rains, which isn't very often in Arizona, but it does happen. So on a game night, rather than being outside in your normal warm-up area, now you're in a whole new section of the arena to do a warm-up to make sure that you're ready for the game. So like little things like that just made it a little bit tougher overall, but you know, you just had to make do with what you had. And overall, like I said, I mean, everybody just went about their business as a pro and you move on.
Hey, do you have OCD?
Hold on. Can I ask you one more question about when you guys would go on the road, do you feel like you were treated the same, like staying in the hotels and all that type of stuff? And, or was it like, was the flight different? Was the experience traveling different with Arizona versus?
I'll say we flew the same airline that Pittsburgh did, that Nashville did. Minnesota was different. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're flying the same airline as the Penguins, you can't be complaining about the plane.
Yeah.
You know,
Air Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like there's other things that you could probably complain about that maybe other teams had here and there, but overall, like Carl, the nutritionist there, was phenomenal. He made sure you guys had all the food that you needed. Like it was great. Like the team services guy Griff, absolutely terrible at his job, and I'll tell him that too. He makes sure you have what you need. So there really wasn't a ton. Obviously, there's a million stories that float around, but overall, I mean, they tried to limit that distraction as much as possible.
So you're staying at the Ritz-Carlton,
not the La Quinta.
You're not staying at the Red Roof Inn.
Yeah, and like but there's other teams too. Like in the sense of, like in Nashville, where did we stay? With Nashville, we stayed at the DoubleTree in Florida. This year,
a lot of teams do.
The one right by the arena. Exactly. A lot of teams do. So it's like, if you do that with Arizona, we stayed at the Westin on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. Some guys are like, we should be at the Ritz. Well, do you want to be at the DoubleTree and in Sunrise, or do you want to be on the beach here at the Westin? It's like, kind of pick, it's easy to complain about everything. And that's what NHL guys do. Complain about absolutely everything just because we can. Mm-hmm. And it, and that's just, everybody's the same way.
Yeah, there's a DoubleTree in Anaheim too, and they got good cookies actually. Now,
isn't that a DoubleTree right next to where the Coyotes used to play too in Glendale? Wasn't that a DoubleTree also?
I like DoubleTree.
I want to say it was a Renaissance next to Glendale, but still, I mean, the same idea.
Something like that.
So about the OCD thing, and I'm just reading stuff, watching stuff. Like, do you have OCD? Because I play with guys like Jim Dowd, who's hilarious, who has it. And it doesn't seem like he's too affected by it. He just will like fix things around the hotel, and then you walk behind him and mess it up, and he doesn't even know he's doing it, but he's fixing it again. Does that hinder stuff? Like, because people are so paranoid anyway, getting dressed, putting the left skate on first or whatever. Like, does that all coexist with your OCD if you have it?
Yeah, no, I mean, here's the deal. I don't ever claim that I have OCD because I know people have been like medically diagnosed with OCD, and I don't want to take away from that.
Get that.
With that said, I feel that I'm like right there. Like I'm the guy that like everything is perfect all the time. If you saw my closet and you saw my shoes, you saw like the way my car is, like everything is just like dialed all the time. And so guys give me shit for it all the time. Like they walk up to me and they just like push my stick just enough, or they, and they mess with me all the time. Yeah. And so I actually, when I got to Nashville, I had to put a piece of tape on my stall to make sure that McCarron didn't come into my stall, because he was hitting all my water bottles and all my shit. He didn't know. So I just put a line there and said, "Do not cross," just to make sure that he could read it. And so, I think that it does in ways create more superstitions, but I don't really claim to be overly superstitious. But that's kind of a thing that just part of my life just had to work with. My kids have made it way less of a thing because that's just a complete disaster. So what I do now with my kids is like, I make sure my stuff is good, and then I make them clean up, and then I'm like, all right, I'll just like close that door and I don't see it and I'm good. But I think it's worse for me. I shouldn't say, I don't really, better or worse isn't the right way to put it. But for me, hockey wise, I like it because I know the days that I can actually like go with my routine are my game days. My practice days is just like, we're here and just, kind of more relaxed. Game days, it's more routine, more regimented as far as like what I do at the rink and those things. But it's mainly based around my OCD, not superstition. It's just like, I'm going to fix that and we're good. Now I feel good. But if I don't fix it, then I'm screwed. I can't do it.
What about like when you're like rooming with guys at an early age, and you just room with some sloppy bastard that pissed all over the
Yeah.
place, fucking threw his shit everywhere? Did that drive you
Yeah.
nuts?
Nuts. Like, so when I was younger, so we had 5 kids in my family, and my parents, we were all playing hockey. They'd send me with one family, they'd send Evan with the other, Adam, they'd take themselves, or right. It was one of those. So I'd end up with friends all the time. I was the kid that was like, set my own alarm at 6 a.m., get up, open up my suitcase, everything's like perfectly folded. And the other kids are like getting pulled out of bed at like 7:30. Like, here, throw this shit on, we got to leave. I was like ready to go. So parents loved bringing me with. So my parents always sent me out with others because they knew that I was easy to take care of because I just did all that stuff. But it was mainly just because I felt I had to. Like, I can't function if I know things in my life are a mess. I just can't do it.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between being organized and having, a medical issue. I mean, we had Colin Wilson on,
Yeah.
who had to
Right.
he would retie his skates until his fingers would bleed. I mean, he had
Yeah.
significant situation that he was dealing with. We've had plenty of former Penguins on, and they talk about Crosby having to eat at a certain time and getting to the meeting at a certain time. Describe his level of organization in terms would you guys try to mess with him and try to get him to be late to a meeting?
No, but
And would he flip out if he was?
no. So the thing with Sid, I'll give. So I don't think he is OCD organized like that. I think he has stuff that he likes, but I think there's a difference in certain ways of OCD and organization and superstition. To me, they're two very separate things, and it's because I know what I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's also why I say I don't have OCD. I don't, because I know what you're saying with Colin Wilson and those guys. That's another level,
Mm-hmm.
even from where I'm at. And so I don't want to ever diminish what they go through on a daily basis.
Sure. Yeah.
With Sid, his is purely superstition, in my opinion. His is all based on superstition. It's he's got tags. The equipment guy has to bring him a marker, and it's got to be the same marker to write on his stick at the same time on the clock. That's not organization. That's superstition. Matt Cullen told me a story years ago, or maybe when I got traded to Pittsburgh, about Sid. Sid eats his peanut butter and jelly sandwich right before a power play meeting every single game day in the same chair at home. It's what he does. And so I guess one day they're in the Stanley Cup final, and they're at home, and Matt Cullen sat with him. And I guess at one point he would just say a certain thing. He goes, I don't even remember what it was. So he says this certain thing to Sid, and then they could get up and go to their power play meeting. So one day he forgets he's going to say it. He forgets he has to say it, just gets up and goes into the meeting, and Sully's sitting there, and he's like, where's Sid? And Matt Cullen's like, oh, fuck. My bad. I'll be right back. He runs out there, says what he says, and comes back into the meeting. So Sid was willing and currently missing his meeting, knowing he was missing it, staring there at the clock, saying, I'm not moving until Coley tells me this, whatever this line was.
No, he's got a problem.
That's
crazy.
That's what I mean. It's superstition, but I give him a ton of credit because he doesn't typically if one of the ones I ended up in, I was first in line in the horseshoe in warmups, right? So I'd pass him a puck, and he'd come up to me, and sometimes I'd throw a little backhand sauce or whatever, and he'd come up to me, he's like, I want a hard pass, on the tape. And so the next game, I remember, I'm like, all right, I got this. I blew it 4 feet on his backhand, completely messed up this pass. I messed up my warm up so bad because I'm thinking I just messed up Sid, and he never said a word about it. I went up to him after the game, like, dude, I'm so sorry about that pass. I think we ended up losing the game too. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, in my head, he was worried about it the entire game, and he wasn't at all. So he's really good about it. He tries not to, pull guys into it too much. He's pretty good about it.
Yeah, but when he got home, he motherfucked you for probably 30 minutes. You remembered that backhand pass.
He still remembers it.
I know guys that would remember that too.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
So funny. It may have been Matt Cullen who told us that story.
Yeah,
it's funny when you were talking about hockey dads in Minnesota. We had Jason Blake on with us. We had Matt Cullen. There's a couple of resources for you to talk to kind of get a feel for.
Cully's on another level. When he was playing here, his second stint with the Wild must have been after Pittsburgh and Nashville. and then back to Minnesota, possibly. I don't remember exactly, but his second stint here, because I played with him my rookie year, maybe even my second year before he went to Pittsburgh. And then he came back, and he would have the kids on the pond at like 6 a.m. behind his house
Before school.
for like an hour and a half, then bring them to school. Then he came in for morning skate, and he's like, yeah, I'm taking the option already. I was already on the pond for an hour and a half this morning, and then he'd go pick him up from school, and he'd be back on the pond before he'd come to games. The guy was insane. Like he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you laugh at that, Andy, but you guys do the same thing with your kids. They'll have sessions right before school, but it's not outside.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We just don't have the pond.
We don't have the pond.
But my kid, he'll skate before school.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the ice this morning.
Yeah.
Jamal Mayers, I'll give him a shout out. He was the skill. He was the skill instructor.
They got a good here.
You bring him to the rink before school?
I do.
Yeah.
But like his school doesn't start until like 8:40 or 8:50. So my other kids have to be at school like earlier. So there's a group of 4 kids. They'll go skate from like 7 to 8, and then we'll go to school.
Yeah.
After that,
don't you want to do that with your kids? Don't you want to do?
And listen, with my schedule, like
that makes me want to retire.
I know
right now. Like I just want to be done. I'm gonna go burn Hendricks' gear right now.
Oh,
they're crazy.
But I know, and I don't know. I love it, but he loves it even more. So it's just kind of like you just kind of go with it.
As long as I mean, as long as to me, it's the dads that are like forcing them to do that that run into the issues, right? If they truly love it and they're having a good time, then you can't argue with it.
If my kid was like, I don't want to go, I'm not going to make him go to the rink.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I got to ask you about the Jordan Binnington stuff, man. I mean, this guy, blocker to the face.
The dog, baby.
Then you throw him the change up from the slot.
Yeah.
And it looked like you didn't get all of it, but maybe you did. I don't know. And you score a goal a few minutes later. He takes the mask off and like says something to you on the bench.
Cool as hell.
You gave the old like Michael Jordan in the playoffs when he like wouldn't miss, like just look at the stands. That was
funny.
Had you guys ever like met since then or talked to? Like, were you guys like, what is going on? Did you know you could get under his skin? Because he wasn't that way. I think Binnington, man, and he made a concerted effort to kind of shelf all that last season. He had a great season last year. But walk us through that whole sequence, man, playing against the Blues that game.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's a phenomenal goalie. I'm going to start by saying that. And I've got a ton of respect for him as a player. We've known, I mean, everyone knows, the whole league knows that he has that side of it, right? Him and I have had a few little scuffles in the past, like just little stuff, but nothing like the Fleury and him deal, like never anything like that. And never anything like the Pittsburgh thing. But I also think there's a certain aspect of like, I played against the Blues for so long with Minnesota that when I go to Pittsburgh, like those guys don't feel that same rivalry with the Blues that I did. Like I hate the Blues. Like I hate that team, but I've hated them because we had 2 playoff series against them. And, like we've played against them so much. And so that's part of that. And that's just the same way for anybody that plays. It's Pittsburgh with Washington, right? The first time I played Washington with Pittsburgh, I was like a deer in headlights. Like, this is fucking crazy. It was even crazier than what I felt, but it's because of all their playoff runs and, all the things that they had. So for that game, I think there was, just with Binnington in general, him and I have had, a few drawing matches back and forth. So then I get a blocker to the face. Kind of a funny story about that. So I end up going down, gets me right in the nose with the blocker. Or I think it was actually his glove. No, it was his blocker. It was. So then I go down and I'm like and I don't even remember who the ref was, comes over and he's like, hey, are you bleeding? I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm fine. And he's like, I'm going to give him a 5 for that. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, that was a dangerous play. So I'm standing there, like I hear the ref tell me this. At this point, our trainer is already out there, checking me, whatever. My nose is bleeding, but nothing like crazy. So I have the towel, skate off, whatever. And then I'm in the locker room, Doc's checking it. There was only like a minute left in the period. They take the penalty away completely. So now I look like an idiot because I was essentially told like, hey, he's going to get a 5 because, there was a dangerous play and so on and so forth. So I think, that's happening for sure. I'm playing it up a little bit to make sure that the 5 sticks and whatever takes it away completely after they review the penalty. So then fast forward, next period, come out, second period, I score the goal. celebrating. As I am skating back to the bench, I just stared Binnington down the whole time. So I never stopped looking at him as I skated by. And that's, I think, what made him come back to the bench, is because he ended up getting pulled, which I didn't know he was going to get pulled. So I stared him down. Then I go to the line. I think I stared him down again as I turned back to the bench. Then he gets pulled. So he's skating back to the bench. That's when he takes his helmet off and starts yelling at me. And
so he's yelling at you when he took his helmet off. He's yelling at you specifically.
Oh yeah.
What's he saying?
Oh yeah. And honestly, I don't remember fully. It was something along the lines of like, I have no respect for somebody like you, or something of that sort. And he, and that's why I went like that. I was like, all right, whatever, kind of funny coming from a guy like you. Simultaneously, who was their goalie at that?
Oh my God, Thomas Greiss.
Yeah,
he just
Greiss
totally
comes in and just
did it.
Takes out the net.
Yeah,
it was absolute chaos. He takes out the net completely. It was pretty funny.
I know, completely. You're
yeah.
sitting next to Gensel, maybe. I think maybe because his look. He's watching it on the Jumbotron when they show you on the bench afterwards. I'm like, this is like the most disastrous sequence. I could just imagine, like, if you're a coach or a general manager, like, watching this and be like, what the fuck is going on? This is the worst situation ever.
Because then I think Chief called him out after the game. He's like, I think he needs to worry more about stopping pucks than he does, this or that and whatever. But it was kind of funny. I mean, I didn't realize how much like this thing would blow up. It kind of became like a thing. It was like one of, a meme or whatever it is. Yeah.
He cares funny, so much, man. Like
he's good dude.
He's one of those guys. Like the team was so bad defensively that year. I just think he's like,
you'd like him.
He's the leader. He's the emotional leader. He's at times the best player. Like he's just he wears it all, and I think sometimes just the frustration gets a little bit overwhelming. But this past year, like you didn't see any of that. I think that was intentional. Like he was like, okay, I'm not gonna. And I think Chief had something to do with that too, in terms of their conversations.
For sure. And like again, that's why I say like I have so much respect for him, because I understand like, hey, coming into the league and winning as a rookie, and just doing what he did is phenomenal. But then you're already, how do you follow that up? Like just from like a career standpoint, like that's so hard to do. So the way that he's been able to sustain what he has is incredible. Like when you look at like a Matt Murray, right? It's so hard to sustain that after winning 2 cups back to back and then still continue to be who you are. Like it's really hard to do that. And, so I give him a ton of credit for his career. I mean, he's been unreal, and, doesn't mean I'm not going to hate playing against him anymore, but I do have a ton of respect for him. And I've heard from plenty of guys, Marco Scandella is a good buddy, and Kasperi Kapanen's a good buddy of mine. So, hearing from these guys, they love him. They've got nothing but good things to say. So we'll put that one past us. It's been a year and a half now, or whatever it is. So we'll let that one go.
He's due for a fight. You might as well give him a go. He's asking everybody.
Scandella, the Italian Instagram model, Marco Scandella.
Marco, handsome bugger.
I love the guy.
Yeah.
If I could sit here, we could sit here for this whole hour and just tell stories about Marco here in Minnesota when we played together. Because you got to think, so that young guy crew, right, was myself, Charlie Coyle, Mikkel Granlund, Jonas Brodin, Marco Scandella, Jared Spurgeon, Darcy Kemper, Eric Halla, Johan Larsson, Matt Dumba. That's 10 of us right there that were like young guys coming into Minnesota over the course of like 3 years.
Wow.
Like it was insane. And so though everybody was young and stupid and, had some fun, and Marco was always, Nino Niederreiter. I can't forget Niederreiter too. He was right in there. And so, it was insane.
Who's the leader of that team? Like who's a guy that would maybe that captain or whatever, but like maybe came in and sat you guys down and said, hey, you need to chill out a little bit. Who's that guy?
That was, well, the problem is we had at the time, my first 2 years, we had Danny Heatley and Devin Setaguchi and Koivu, Parisi, Suter, so we had like the super old guys, what we felt were the super old guys, and then us. So it was 2 separate teams, which made it tough. But Mikko, I think, was that guy, because him and Granlund were really close, obviously being Finnish. He had Halla and Granlund like under his wing, obviously, again, from the Finnish side. Nicholas Backstrom was there as well. And so I think he just kind of pulled them, and that kind of kept the younger group in line, because Granny and Halsey were kind of, they like to have fun, and all of us did, of course. But when he would yell at them, he was essentially yelling at all of us. And that kind of kept everybody in line a little bit.
What about Danny Heatley? No one really hears from him too much, man. We want to get him on the pod. Like, is he a cool cat? Like, how is he?
Guy.
We never see anything about him. We don't do any interviews, anything.
No.
Nothing, man. I ran into him a few years ago. This past year, actually, the equipment guy in Philly, Rick Bronwell, is one of my good buddies from here in Minnesota. And Ricky and him are like really tight. So this year, out of nowhere, I got a FaceTime from Ricky, and he's with Heater. And Heater was like, he was a mentor for me because I think on a very, very much lower level than what he was, he saw a lot of on ice stuff, like, with the way that I was scoring goals young, but couldn't do anything else. Like, I was horrible defensively. I was horrible in every other aspect of the game, but for some reason I kind of knew how to score goals. And he helped me with a ton of that my first couple of years, and just kind of mentored me. And I sat next to him in the room. That was part of it. But some of the stories with Heater, man, are incredible. Every time I see Rick Brunwell in Philly, we bring up some sort of Heater moment that happened. He's just an unbelievable guy. I can't say enough good things about him. I have him to thank for a lot of my success. Just, and there's still stories I tell of Heater all the time. And if I told them on this, he'd probably kill me if he ended up seeing me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the tough part, but he's a great dude.
How were like Suter and Parisi? Like, could you go to them? Like, were they easy to talk to? It's always like there's like all this perception on the outside about the contract and all of that, and just kind of how it all went down when Billy G took over. What was your relationship like with those guys?
I don't think I did enough of that as a young guy. I didn't do that at all, to be honest with you. Matt Cullen was one that I didn't really have a choice with. He would just start talking to me and giving me this advice. And Heatley was kind of the same way. Like, for whatever reason, I wasn't somebody that went to the older guys and was like, hey, what do you think about this? And so I've actually kind of brought that into the way that I've been with some of these teams, like in Arizona. That can kind of be intimidating, right? Going to one of the older guys and be like, hey, like, I'm struggling with this. Like, can you help me out? So I try to just go and just have conversations with guys now, some of the younger guys. And because that's how Heatley and Cully did it for me. And it just made a huge difference for me. As far as Suter and Parisi, like, I got along with them great. I mean, I still talk to Zach quite often. We spend time together in the summer. We'll golf together. We skated a lot together here. Suits was a little bit more on his own page. He's got a ton of business stuff. I'm sure you've heard a lot about that. Like, he's really locked in and dialed into his businesses and everything outside of hockey. And so I think there's a certain aspect that, like, when he leaves the rink, he just is, it's all about, when he's at the rink, it's hockey, and he's good. He does his stuff and he gets out of there. And then it's just, he has like this separate life. And so, I never really had a whole lot of like those type hockey conversations. I did a little bit more with Zach, but that was more over the summer and that when we were golfing rather than in season.
I got you.
Yeah, I get you on that.
Hey, you rocked Nick Cousins this year. Like, and you got the suspension. Who did he hit from Arizona? Yeah. And like, you came from a long way. Like, you knew you were going to get him. Was there anything that had went on between you two prior to that? Because he gets under the skin of a lot of guys around the league.
No, we didn't have any history at all. To be quite honest with you, I never intended to hit him. Like, I was going there, like, I thought, I don't know. So he hit Juuso Välimäki, right? Välimäki kind of toe picks. He jump elbows him in the head. And like, I'm seeing this and I'm like, again, being one of the older guys in Arizona, I'm like, they got to understand like that I have their back. They've got mine. Like, that's the culture we're going to set here. Mm-hmm. And, Dumba is the same way. Like, Liam O'Brien is the epitome of that. Josh Brown, like, got a tough team, and guys, that they already had that precedent set. And I think for me coming in, I wanted to add to that for me, the oldest guy on the team and the most games played. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to jump in this with you guys. But I'm not typically a guy that's going to fight after hits. That's not what I do. But this one I see, I'm like that, you easily could have stopped. on that hit was kind of the way that I felt. So I'm skating over there, and I actually, if you watch the one video where you see me, I'm yelling at him. Like I say something to him, and I never expected him to just like do this against the glass and just like wait there. Like he knew I was coming.
Yeah.
And so that's why I hit him, because he knew I was coming. I think I got him more than I realized I got him at the time. But I also don't feel that it was as bad as it looked. I think there was a little bit of animation there. And so, it just is what it is.
He's kind of an animated guy.
Yeah, he flopped down pretty hard.
Yeah.
And you got the fan support too, which is really unusual for a big time hit from behind,
Yeah, I know. And like, again, I should have been better there. I should have just grabbed him and it would have been different. I think I didn't know if he would fight me if I just went up there and just like, grabbed him. So I didn't want to, I ended up putting my team in a bad position either way, being out 3 games, but regardless, it is what it is. I should have handled that differently, and that's just the facts of it. But we didn't have any beef before that, and then obviously it was kind of tough. So we went to play Florida like 2 weeks later, and in that fight with Forsling, I messed up my bicep tendon in my shoulder. So I was playing on like one shoulder, and then maybe 2 games before, I broke both fingers my left hand blocking a shot from Roman Yossi. So now we get to Florida, I have 2 broken fingers and a messed up shoulder. I'm like, I can't fight tonight. Like there's no way. And so that was the game that Liam O'Brien and Jack McBain fought off the opening faceoff. Kachuk chased me around the whole game, but it was, I was hurt. I'm like, I'm not fighting. If I fight right now, this is going to be an absolute disaster. I'm going to get my ass kicked just because I can't even hold on with my whole left hand or my left shoulder. So then fast forward to going back there with Nashville, obviously it was good to, Cousins, we got on the ice and, he asked me to go and that was it. So it was nice to kind of bookend that and get that over with. Especially not being able to do it the first time back to Florida.
So how does that work on the ice? When Kachuk's chasing you around, like, are you like, hey, listen, I got a torn bicep and 2 broken fingers? Or
no, because if I tell them that,
yeah,
then they're just going to be going for it.
Slashing your hand,
yeah, exactly. And so, even like Lomberg, obviously, he was kind of doing the same. So I'm like trying to protect myself in the sense of, look, I can't fight, and I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, if they jump me, what do I do? Okay, I got to keep my left glove on. I can't take off because my hand is taped. So that's the other side. If I get in a fight, I can get suspended for having my hand taped and those things too. Like I had a plastic piece on both fingers. So where they were literally locked like this, I couldn't move. So like if I get in a fight, like I was literally sitting like this, I'm like, I'm done. I got no chance. And
Poke
so
your eye
that
out.
was, yeah, well, right, exactly. And then get suspended again. And so, all those things are going through my head, and that's kind of the tough part. So after I fought Cousins, I actually had a conversation with Longberg on the ice. I'm like, hey man, I just want to tell you, the reason I didn't fight last game was because of this and so on. And, so at least he knew that it wasn't just like, okay, I'm just not going to fight you guys. Cause, for anybody that's played the game long enough knows that that's just a respect factor of the game. If you hit somebody like that, you're going to have to fight. And I fought Forsling right then. And then, if the case was, if I was healthy, I would have answered the bell then, but obviously it didn't work out that way. And then was able to do it when we went back there.
Yeah, no, you answered.
You're
the
an
bell.
honest player, dude. Come on now.
So
I try to be, right. I mean, it's the game deserves it. The game deserves it. And, for me, it's, I've been lucky enough to play as long as I have. And I feel like for most guys that play, and have great careers, it's, you have to have that respect for the game and the other players.
Do you do MMA training?
I did when I was in Vegas. Yeah. Yeah. When I was back there, I trained with Dan Hardy, with Frank Mir, Roy Nelson, a bunch of guys there. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
You go to fights? Are you a UFC guy?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I haven't in a while since I had kids, only because I had my son wake up when I was watching a fight and, like he couldn't stop watching. And then the next day he's like punching his sister. And I'm like,
oh, Lord.
So I had to tone it down a little bit, but I love it. I'm a big fan. To be honest, I've kind of, since my kids, I've lost touch with it a little bit. But for me, like the GSP Anderson Silva era was like when I was really into it. and it was, I mean, some of the best fighting in the world. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I went to my first fight a few weeks ago, and
Okay, nice.
it was here in St. Louis. Dana White was there. I mean, it was like
Yeah,
it was cool, man. I will
Yeah.
say, like, I didn't know what to expect. It was one of the
Awesome.
cooler events I've ever been to.
Yeah.
So now
yeah,
I'm
so
kind of
it's-
into it.
yeah, it's so much fun. So the backstory for me was the casino company my dad builds for is called Station Casinos. The two owners are Frank and Lorenzo Fertitta. They're the ones that bought the UFC back in like 2007 or what, I don't even remember what year it was. You know, and then they just sold it a couple of years ago to that Chinese conglomerate for like $4 billion. So that's their bosses. So when I was 14, I was getting ready to go to Michigan to play for CompuWare, and my dad called his boss, Frank, you know, or actually called Lorenzo Fertitta, said, "Hey, you know, my son's playing competitive hockey. Like, I need a trainer." And he goes, "Why don't you go down to our private gym in the basement and you can use my trainer?"
Wow.
So that was kind of the deal. So I was actually training in Frank and Lorenzo's private gym. And in the gym, there was a boxing coach named Jimmy Gifford from Boston. And he was training, you know, he had Misha Tate when she beat Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
You know, like they had a boxing ring down there. They had all this stuff and all their trainers. So then before they built the UFC Performance Center in Vegas, all the UFC guys that would come to Vegas would train in their private gym. So I'd be down there just training one day and like Conor McGregor would walk in. Or like all these guys were just like in their private gym until they built the UFC PI. But yeah, it was pretty sick. Like it was a great spot to be.
You talked to Conor? You talked to Conor at all?
It was like,
cool,
hey man, how you doing? It was,
Yeah.
I did not like have a long conversation. You know, there's actually YouTube videos of me training with Dan Hardy that Dan Hardy posted, you know, back
Check
then.
that out.
And I'd bring hockey jerseys in and they had fun with it because it was just, they all trained with a gi. So I was training, I brought a hockey jersey in, threw it on Frank Mir one day and he goes, "Hey, just grab him by this and just choke him out." I'm like, "Can't do that, man. Like it's a hockey fight."
He's a heavyweight, by the way.
And
He's a
Yeah.
super heavyweight. Yeah, Frank Mir.
Yeah.
He's more
Well, he has
jujitsu
the-
too.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
he has more submissions than any heavyweight in UFC history. I mean,
Scary.
he's a badass. Forrest
Cool
Griffin
guy.
was another guy.
Forrest, another
What's that?
awesome guy. Forrest Griffin, like all those guys, they're all cool though,
Yeah.
right? They treat you good,
Unreal.
down to earth
Unreal.
as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So this year I actually went to the UFC, or last summer, sorry, went to UFC PI to meet with a buddy of mine that I trained with, who's the CFO maybe of the UFC. He's Dana's like right-hand man essentially at the company. And Lawrence, his name's Lawrence Epstein. He's a really good buddy of mine. So I went down there for another company that I own because we were partnering with the UFC. And I'm sitting in the lobby waiting to go meet with Lawrence, and Forrest Griffin comes walking by with a group of kids that he was doing like a tour of UFC PI. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, he's going to have, like, you have no clue who I am right now. And he turns, he's like, "Zuck, what are you doing here?" Like he remembered, and I haven't seen the guy in 10 years. I mean, minimum 10 years. And he remembered me 100%. So it was cool. It was, you know, fun to see him. He's just a really good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a fire. He won the UFC, the TV show, and then he's a fireman. Hey, by the way, Conor's going to get his ass kicked by a local boy out here, a local shit kicker, and Michael Chandler. Unfortunately, Conor's partying a little too much, and Michael Chandler's not messing around. So, unfortunately, Conor's not going to have a good one coming up here in the next couple weeks.
Chandler's a badass, man. He really
Hell
is.
yeah.
I mean, I like Conor from when he came in. Now, obviously, he's not even. I don't even know if he can call himself a fighter anymore.
Yeah,
You know, but he's got so much going on. He earned that now. You know, but for me, I'd rather. You know, he should probably. I'm assuming this is probably going to be one of his last fights and just be done. He's got enough money to be okay, I think.
Yeah, no, we got hooked up. We were front row seats. There's a guy out of Arizona who like is one of Dana White's right hand men too. Like he's in tight with all the hockey players, whatever, who hooked us up. So,
That's great, man.
yeah, forgot his name, but
Find his name and remember it, Andy. Good God.
well, Timmy Peel, he gave Timmy Peel the tickets, and
shit.
Peelsy he invited me. I went with
Yeah.
Peelsy, but we had a good time. Hey, two more things,
Fields
man.
is
Yeah,
the
man.
best.
Oh yeah. I gotta ask you because I'm just curious. First off, when you and Matt Martin are going back and forth on the bench,
I saw that.
what are you guys talking about? Like, because I would imagine like you're not trying to fight him, although it wouldn't surprise me if you would, because like you handle yourself pretty
Yeah,
well, man.
dude.
Even going back to the Cousins fight,
He'll be
you
all right.
handled yourself really well in that fight. You're MMA fighting,
Yeah, man.
You know what to do, but like, what are you telling him as you guys get back to the bench?
So I remember that one pretty distinctly because he had said he went out, he was going after Gino. I was playing on Gino's line, And obviously it was the playoffs. So I know
Gino's
he's not
playing
gonna-
on your line.
Gino's playing on
Jason,
your
come
line.
Not quite, but okay. We'll go with that just because you guys are nice guys.
Yeah.
So he's going after Gino. So I think I gave him a pretty good whack. So he's yelling at me, he's yelling at Gino or whatever. And I remember I just like, it was one of those like wires cross moments. And I remember looking over and I grabbed my stick and I put it like this in his face. And I said, I'm going to knock all your fucking teeth out. I said, if you go anywhere near that guy, I'm going to slash you right in the teeth. I said, I'll take a 10-game suspension. I don't care. You're not touching Gino anymore. And I did not realize it, but I turned to the right and it was like, I think Panger was staring right at me, or it might've been Pierre Maguire. And like,
it was Pierre Maguire. It was Pierre because I listened to the
highlight. Like, I was glad that the mic didn't hear it because that's really not the right thing to be saying to somebody. But it was like, of course, Pierre Maguire staring right at me. He heard every single word because he was just right there between the benches. But I mean, I'm not going to fight Matt Martin, obviously, especially in the playoffs. There's just no reason for it. Yeah. The guy's a freak. He'd kill me. But it was more about just trying to keep him away from Gino at the time. I don't think it worked, but it was worth a try.
I don't think he'd kill you. I think you're strong enough to hold him out, man. Just so you know. I'm just letting you know. I'm building your confidence up a little bit, just so you know. You're all right.
I appreciate it. I'll have, I don't know, 2 fights a year maybe, and I'm good with that.
That's a heavyweight in today's game, man.
Yeah, baby. You and Reaver are going buckets off next game.
Yeah.
Hey, the other thing, and listen, Gene, I got to ask you, now you just bring up Malcolm. I got to ask you about Malcolm, too. I'm curious about all these guys, but what happened, like, the last game, was it the last game of the year, maybe the second to the last game of the year when you're with Pittsburgh and you guys had to beat like Chicago or something?
Oh,
this is how the whole thing with Florida started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys win that game. Florida doesn't get in the playoffs.
Yep.
They're probably not even playing with the same confidence that they have now, and now they're in the Stanley Cup final and they had a great year. Like, you just never know if they miss the playoffs, how this all plays out for the Florida Panthers. So how the hell did you guys lose that game? And when you're sitting around after the game with the team, are you guys looking at each other like, what just happened? Because if you win that game, you're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, so it was a win and in for sure. Mm-hmm. But if we won, no, sorry. We had to win both. So we had 2 games left. We had to beat Chicago and Columbus, back-to-back games, with a day between.
Okay.
But if we lost even a point, we're done. So we had to win those 2 games and we were in. It was a guarantee, win 2 and you're in, no matter what. And that's where we had Florida, because if they had to win their last one, or maybe they were done and we had 2 left. It was something like that even. Yeah. So the thing I'll say at that Chicago game, we actually played unbelievable. We had like 59 shots or something like that in that game, and Peter Mrazek was unbelievable. Like, it was crazy. And so I remember we're down like 2-0, and Gino finally scores with like 3 minutes left in the game. But we were like absolutely peppering him. It wasn't like we just came out and took it light. Like, we were dominating the game. And then Athanasiou, I think, gets a breakaway, scores. And then I think they got one off like our defenseman skate kind of thing. And they were up 2-0. And this was in the first period. So then we're dominating the whole game. Gino scores with like 3 minutes left. Then we pulled the goalie. I think we hit 4 posts when we pulled the goalie, and then they scored, made it 3-1. So now we're sitting in the locker room. There was a scenario though that we still could have gotten in that next night, because we flew to Columbus. We practiced and flew to Columbus the next night. And I remember we were sitting in the lobby of the hotel. I want to say it was the Islanders were playing maybe Chicago, like something like that, the next night. And if Chicago won or something of that sort, we still could have gotten in if we beat Columbus. But that team lost, or maybe the Islanders won or whatever it was. So we knew we were eliminated the night before that Columbus game. And so we just went to the bar and had a bunch of drinks, and then we lost to Columbus also.
Oh my God.
How was that game? Were you guys just like,
terrible. It was pizzas. So bad. That was like, I legitimately felt bad for Mike Sullivan that game, because like it was just not.
Oh yeah.
It was not good.
He's a good coach, huh? He's a good coach. Right?
Great coach.
Yeah.
Phenomenal
he seems
coach.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad
I had a ton of respect for him. He was great.
Yeah.
Columbus game.
Okay, last thing. So your wife, is she a broadcaster? She did a great job with the interview that I watched.
Dang good job.
Your like sit-down interview where she's
You
like
seemed
just,
annoyed.
she's grilling you with questions.
Oh yeah, that seemed to be the norm.
But you handled it
Yeah.
really well. So
Yeah,
is she like
thanks.
she's still in the business, or is she no longer?
No, not doing anything anymore. Just laying low. Yeah, nothing too much going on.
Okay, that's probably
Good for
the
her.
that's
Good for her.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
probably smart.
Exactly. Better that way.
Yeah, she's got to organize the house so you don't freak the fuck out.
No, that's the opposite. I'm the one doing that, and it's just chaos everywhere else.
God.
Oh my God. So,
Oh,
listen,
man.
best of luck this
Dude, you're the
offseason,
man.
dude. You're going to get a lot of interest.
Hell yeah.
Don't say
Thank
you
you,
hate the
guys.
Blues. You never know. They may call you. They need a veteran guy.
You
around
never
here,
know.
you
We know
man,
people.
Hey, but you know what? You know how that goes, though. The second they call, it's like, I love you guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. You know,
And you would
I
love
hate
it
winning.
here, man. You would love it
Yeah,
here.
no, I hate every Central Division team
course
other than
you
the
do.
Predators currently.
course you
That's
do.
just the way it works. You know how it goes.
Wasn't the Penguins Flyers? That had to be pretty heated too, or was it
That was
not
fun.
not as heated as the Capitals Ovi versus Sid rivalry?
You know, I'll say from a fan base perspective, the Philly fans and Pittsburgh fans hated the team more.
Yeah.
But I think as a team, it was more Washington. But I think it was the Ovi Sid thing, right? Like that rivalry is just so big.
Mm-hmm.
And Philly doesn't really have that guy that's going to go up against Sid. Like if you look at it's the same with the Islanders, right? The Islanders is a big one with Pittsburgh. But if you look at that, and I'm talking only from like a Sid perspective here, he has more points against the Islanders than like anybody in history or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he dominates the Islanders. Now they may have won more playoff series or, whatever, but like that rivalry is big for me, like in my opinion, in like the regular season and for some fans and that. But as far as hockey goes, like Sid just dominates the Islanders. And I think he's kind of the same way with Philly, if I remember correctly. Like he has just an absurd amount of points against Philly. With Washington, it's eventually it's kind of the same, but they met in the conference finals and they met in the second round and they would meet, all the time in the playoffs for those few years. I suppose not conference final, but regardless, like they met a ton. And those Ovi versus Sid playoff series just made it to get to another level.
Yeah, I get you, man.
All right, man.
Hey, good luck to you. We'll be keeping track.
Enjoy the summer.
Yeah.
Whatever you got going on.
Hope you guys do as well.
Yeah. Oh, we will.
And
go take your
I'm sure-
kids skating.
Yeah. Get them into the before school.
It's 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I'm like, all right, get on the golf course. That way I have an excuse to get
Oh,
on the
There
golf
you
course a
go,
little bit.
baby.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
you go. All right, big dog. We'll
Yep.
see you, man. Thanks again, buddy.
Take care, man.
Thank you guys. Take care. Have a good one.
See you,
Right
buddy.
on.
The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. BEHLMANN. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy.
Troy, Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. That was Jason Zucker.
Cool cat, man. Damn good player.
Hell yeah. Scores.
Fuck, he hits, he fights. Shit, he's taking a beating too, man. Oh, man.
I take him. See, he's a guy that you want on a contending team.
Yes.
A veteran guy.
Gets in the mix.
You put him in your middle six.
Got a great shot.
Yes.
Really good shot. Quick.
Middle six.
Plays hard. He plays hard. 20-goal scorer. Plays hard. He's just exactly what you want when you're grinding it out in the, the fourth round of the playoffs, Stanley Cup final, and this guy's making plays happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably skating on one leg, but he just sucks it up.
Crushes guys.
Gets
under
sticks up,
skin.
stands in front of the net. I like him a lot.
Vegas
cat,
boy.
too. Yeah. His dad built a couple casinos in Vegas.
Yeah.
Got to hang out in some of those casinos with his buddies. Got like comp shit.
With the UFC guys.
Yeah.
Did you see that UFC guy tap out? And tap out is a term we use in the UFC community. I'm very into it right now. I've been watching a lot of fights.
Name me 3 fighters.
Name
me 3 fighters.
Since I sat front row and became part of the UFC community, he tapped out, Cam, after getting kicked in the leg over and over.
Yeah, his leg probably broke.
You think?
Yeah. So why waste your head when your leg's broke? So you can't stand on your leg for any power.
And the guy was pounded his face.
So you can't stand when you break your leg and you cannot put any pressure on your leg. You have no power in your punches. You have no defense mechanism. So you're going to get fucked up. So he's probably tapped out so he could save his chin.
You think those gloves protect your face or make it hurt more?
I mean, it protects you, I guess, a little bit. Imagine.
What's the point of wearing those? Protects your hand?
Hands more than anything. Yeah. Hands more than anything, but they're not much. You break your hands so easily with
You think that's the most dangerous sport in the world?
No. Bull riding is.
Okay, well, that's not one.
Why'd you
that's
ask
not
me?
even,
Why'd
That's
you
not
ask me
even
a
an
question?
option.
What are we talking? 4 major sports?
Yeah, like bull riding's not even part of. It's not even part of the category.
It's
That's a separate category that I would.
Sport. Okay.
It's not in this category for what I'm saying.
Well, then
What's the
be
most
specific?
What's the most dangerous sport?
Probably hockey.
More than UFC.
I've explained this last week. You probably can get
I know about the sharpness of the sticks and the skates.
in
and
a
stuff.
puck hitting you, broke your little
okay.
dinky fucking hands whenever you hang out with the big boys. Andy breaks
Broke
his
my
fucking
finger.
finger.
I still don't have.
I gotta look at Andy and I'll break his
I
finger.
still don't have feeling in my finger.
So like you fall into an immovable object with the boards, you get hit in the face with a puck. Like it's crazy. Hockey's very, very dangerous. Football's very, 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 very dangerous. UFC is very dangerous. You sign up for the UFC stuff. You do get knocked out a lot easier in the UFC, but
Let me
guys
ask
get
you
knocked
this.
out left and right in both those other sports, hockey and football.
Let me ask you this: if I had to play one period in hockey in an NHL game,
Mm-hmm.
one half of an NFL football game
Every single
as
play.
a running back.
Oh.
Okay, hold on.
Oh God.
Hold on.
And then UFC fight.
Or a one round with a heavyweight champion UFC, or like equivalent. Which one am I suffering the most life-threatening damage in?
Great question. Number 3 is hockey. You're not gonna get the puck. You're not gonna get out of the neutral zone. It might come to you. You might get hit. You'll get up, although you're fragile and you'll probably get concussed a little bit. But I think you'll be okay. You're so slow. You don't even get out of the neutral zone in the alumni skates anyway. So you'll just be like hobbling around and no one's going to touch you because you're not going to have the puck. You're not going to even have connect. You're not going to connect with anybody. You're not going to have any physical presence with anybody because you can't get around. So
You're
hockey's
saying that for
no.
Any Joe Blow
None-
goes out in an NHL game.
No, you can get hurt 100%. But you ain't move. All you Joe Blows ain't moving around fast enough to put yourself in a fucking bad position anyway.
Really?
They're going to skate around you so
can,
fast.
You can be
You're
in
gonna be-
safety zone.
You could be just not noticed and just kind of cruise around.
Stay away from the
Number
puck.
2.
Yeah.
Fuck. Number 2 is football. As a running back, you're going to get got. You're going to get got. And hopefully they don't smash your leg. Hopefully they don't
You
fucking
have
smash
to
your
get the ball.
You have to get the ball. You're going to be
plays
right
in a row.
behind either the center or whoever, the tackle or the fullback, and you're going to just kind of hold on, touch his back, and just try to just stay away from pressure. Oh, God, Andy. I'd lift you up.
Oh, my
I'd
God.
slam you. UFC, you can't hide. So UFC, you can't hide. So you're gonna get tackled. You're probably gonna break your leg because somebody's gonna fall on you. But in UFC, if you went out there and tried to trade punch with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you would be set back, and you'd probably be. It would age you 50 years, where you'd have dementia in about 6
From one
months.
round.
From one round.
Okay, well, that's the most dangerous sport in the world. Then.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you
No,
just
because
answered
those
the
guys
whole
are tougher than you. Their heads are thicker than yours. They know how to eat a punch better than you.
How do you have a thicker head?
They know how to eat punches. My head's 10 times thicker than yours. If you weighed my head and you weighed your head, mine would weigh a lot
How
more
much
than
does your
yours.
head weigh?
A lot. Doesn't mean I'm good
How
looking.
do you
because I
have
ain't.
such a big head?
Because I'm a mutant. My parents are bigger than yours, dude.
Are they?
Yes, my dad's thick. My grandpa was thick as fuck. My mom's dad was thick as fuck. Fucking military.
Your dad
shit
doesn't look
kickers.
that thick.
Dude, look at him with his shirt off. When
In
I'll
the
show you
pictures.
pictures of him, and when in the early
At the
'90s,
lake?
he's jacked as shit. Where do you think I came from? The sky.
I don't know, man.
What do you think created me? Why am I so big?
Are not
My parents
sure.
are.
We are not sure yet.
My parents are big.
We are not sure.
We're not tall. They're thick, dude. They're tough. But
Was your mom thick?
yeah, she was tougher than shit, and her dad was too.
Really?
Yeah.
He died at a young age.
Killed himself.
Oh, God.
Yep, it was bad. Doesn't mean he was mentally
Sorry to
stable,
hear that.
but he was tougher than shit. Rugby, the Forgotten War, which is the Korean War. He was fucking
Why is
climbing
that
through
the
those mountains.
forgotten war?
Because people forgot about
Hey,
it.
they,
'Cause you had
they
Vietnam.
rescued those people out of Israel.
I know.
How'd they do it?
They killed about 200 fucking people in the process.
Really?
You started that war, Hamas, and now you're complaining about
Who did
collateral
who did
damage.
they kill to get to the
Fucking, well,
Israel?
Hamas is hiding under hospitals where children are. Hamas is hiding in schools. Listen, Palestine could be glass right now if Israel wanted to be. Israel has so much firepower. They could
wipe them out.
wipe them out in 2 seconds.
Why don't they do it?
Because they're already getting shit on for fucking war crimes as it is. Because there's innocent civilians dying and children. It's not good.
You're
it's not
saying
good.
200 innocent people
Yeah.
died.
I don't know if they're all innocent,
Were they?
but some
They
certainly
might have
were.
been soldiers and like military for.
There's
Hamas.
civilians. They count as civilians. But okay, so who said that to you? Oh, the people in Gaza?
Mhm.
Oh, really? Oh, you're going to believe that? So, anyway. It's not good, man. War's not good. You know what I don't like? I don't like war. I don't I didn't. After 9/11 was a different story. Let's go get them. Let's go get them.
Yeah.
Fucking 15 years later, you didn't accomplish a fucking thing. You didn't know what was going on. You're trying to nation build. You spent trillions of dollars trying to nation build, and they fuck it all up anyway.
Ask Jason Zucker about Hamas. You were
I didn't think we needed to.
No.
I didn't think we needed to.
I told you that, actually. You didn't need to. He came like, I'm going to ask him about that. I'm like,
I was thinking about it.
I'm like, don't ask
Well,
him.
whatever. I was thinking about it. It's still like a big topic.
No,
One of the biggest topics. Read a paper. What are they talking about?
I know that.
Come on.
I know that.
And somebody's like, Cam, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I read about this shit all day long.
Yes.
Convince me otherwise. Are you reading more than I am?
Mhm.
Are you doing more research on this than me? Then show me. Convince me otherwise. Because I'm an open book, man. I'm open-minded. Convince me otherwise.
Okay.
Hamas has to go. That's the number one thing.
They got to go.
But Palestine people don't want them to go. They voted them in.
Right.
That's what's scary.
What do you
Hamas is a terrorist
What does
group.
our government want?
Biden, they don't know. They want votes. So they're trying to please everybody. They're trying to please the Palestinians. They're trying to please these protesters. They're fucking, Chuck Schumer comes out and they want Netanyahu out. So like it's chaos right now. It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So
we'll get into that next time too. By the way, my son won't go down and play PlayStation right now because of the spiders.
Okay, well, tell him to stop being a wimp.
He doesn't like spiders.
Who does?
A lot of people don't.
Who?
A lot of
likes
people don't.
spiders?
So don't act
Let me
like it's
know.
a wimpy thing. Like people do not like spiders.
Well, if he's not going downstairs to get work in because he's worried about spiders, that's a wimpy thing, and you need to.
It's not work. It's PlayStation.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Say there's monster
it's like
spiders.
he forgot that we even have it.
No, that's you paid for that, so like you don't want him to be scared anywhere.
No, but I don't want him to be addicted to it either.
Well, just tell him not to put on.
He'll go down there. Once I go down there with him, and then I turn it on and I leave, he doesn't come back. He'll just
Tell him not to shake his shoes out and turn the garage.
Yeah.
Shake your shoes out. They've been in the closet, and you have no socks on. Shake your shoes out. That's it.
shake your shoes out.
Shake your shoes out of brown recluses.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
He's not gonna die from brown recluse bite, but you'll be fucked up.
Yes.
So.
Okay. We thank Jason Zucker for joining us, man. Subscribe to all our YouTube and everything, and follow us on everything.
And comment on it too, guys.
Please do.
Yeah. People were complaining that we had the Pronger YouTube clip up, and people were like, I'm messaging people,
What
we're
happened with
talking,
that?
and then I don't know, something
So they
happened.
took it down, and then they.
So people are like, why'd you take it down? Why'd you take down all these comments? And people were like, no, that they had to reset the video.
Anyway, I was telling you about that, but so follow us on all our
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah.
Firstform.com/CamandStrick. All these energy drinks are
Right here,
available.
baby. Dang.
So check them out.
Dang you.
Get that. Firstform.com/CamandStrick. And get all the apparel too, man. They've got great stuff for summer and everything.
Oh God, yeah, man. Absolutely.
In
I
time
wish
for-
they made
in
shoes.
time for 4th of July.
Yeah. I'll be
What are you
decorating
doing
the
for
house.
4th of July?
Oh, we have
You having a party?
me and my neighbor who's my age who plays hockey too,
Yeah, we'll be there.
and we're barbecuing all day, and then we have the huge fireworks set up from the
Cool.
subdivision.
We'll be there.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
Looking forward to
I don't care if you come over.
Um,
Fine.
We'll be there. Illinois Recovery Center, IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Swansea, Illinois.
Message us if you want to get in touch with Eric
Get it done now, or Chrissy.
Chrissy.
Get it done now. Don't wait. They're digging themselves a deeper,
right.
deeper hole.
Deeper.
Get them in there, dude. They'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Then after 4 weeks, they're going to come out of there a new man or woman,
Right.
and they're going to want to conquer life again. And they're going to be normal again. They're going to be themselves. And as a family, you see that firsthand, and you just smile because you can actually see through them. You know what I mean? You can see in their eyes and see the real person instead of fucking he's looking right through you or she's looking right through you when you're addicted.
So check them out. IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. At Bellman Cam, you get no.
Swinging dicks, none of that bullshit. No fucking Hoosiers there, man. Your wife can go there and actually walk around and look at cars and
They're not
stuff
gonna
and not get
harass
creeped
you.
out and be like,
They're harassing us.
your husband's pushing you.
That'll get you 5 games.
Oh, how dare you? Why would you marry that motherfucker, man? I fucking beat him up in high school.
That'll get you 5 games from what you just said.
Fucking Hoosiers. No, man, not a Bellman, dude. They're legit. They're classy. And they got all kinds of different vehicles, dude.
Buick,
Whatever you like.
GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, all located where?
Troy, Missouri.
Where?
Troy, Missouri.
Where?
Troy, Missouri.
I'm going to say hi to Danny Boy.
Danny, what's up, baby? Kenny, Dale, what's up? Let's go. Happy 4th of July coming up.
Hell yeah. All right, Hat Launch, hatlaunch.com, Cam. They are
Awesome.
America's #1 source, the leading source for customized hats. Any hat you're looking for, man, whatever organization you're a part of, could be a school, could be a team, could be a business. Make a hat, dude. Represent your business.
Yep.
Every hat tells a
They
story.
can make a shirt too if you want.
Oh,
They're the best in business.
shirtlaunch.com. Every hat tells a story.
Every hat tells a story. They do. And they'll make it for you, and they'll do it quick, and they'll do it right.
Yes, they will.
They're good people. They're good business people.
Yes.
They're smart, and they're very creative.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big thing going on, man. If you look at all the videos online, follow them on social media as well, and they'll show you like the setup on how they do everything.
Hell yeah.
They're kicking out fucking hats left and right,
So
baby.
check that out.
Yep.
So Jason Zucker joining us on this.
Including
edition,
for
man.
First
We
Form.
appreciate him. Oh, yeah, they make the T-shirts for First. We didn't even know that.
I know.
It's amazing. And no surprise when you
No
get to
shit.
know the people who run
Exactly.
both companies,
Yep, no
that
doubt.
they're working together.
Exactly.
That's who we bring on.
Yep.
The Chemistry Podcast. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys.
Enjoy Jason Zucker.
See you,
Got
dudes.
some
Be
great
cool.
episodes coming out, too. So subscribe and do it today.
Love all y'all.
Peace.